It's not gonna be a problem. Wow. Okay. Wow, that jumped up really quick. Hello, everybody. Welcome to welcome to It's a Long Story, where we roll dice. I totally fucked up the whole intro. Hold on. Wait a minute. I could do this. What's the name of our thing?
We're not doing
Forget
great.
it. Forget it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a thrice weekly campaign set in the beautiful, wonderful world of Imea. This is the way we always dress up. This is normal for us. So easy with the judgment. No, this is our Halloween episode. We are here with the lovely folks, the new moon. Everybody wave whatever you have for hands right now at the camera. Wave and say hi.
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 Yes, excited. Everybody has tried to depict some sort of version of their character. My heart is so full right now. It's so great. It's gonna be really hard to concentrate today, I'll be honest. Yeah.
Well,
So
we're off
if
to
you're
a great start.
We are off to a great start. Welcome everybody. I hope you are very excited for tonight, as I am always. But before we begin, a couple announcements just out of the gate. Some things that we'll kind of just run through probably pretty as quick as we can. We have some. Actually, one cool announcement that I can say that is brand new before you guys skip this part of the video. November 20th will be the official start to campaign 4 of Tales of Imea. So we have officially started our Tales of Imea: The Isles. So I'll start out with that because we are still looking for more players, as we only have 3 and we need a couple more. We need 3 more. So for Tales of Imea, this is a campaign that will be, as I said, starting next month. Set in the same world, homebrew world, same time and place as the other running campaigns that you see here. So for New Moon, Unearthed Arcanum, and Mongoose Crew, all of these are happening at the same time. For the Isles, we are moving a little bit further south. We're going south of South Imea into a place that has a very cool, I'm so excited about it. It's a very cool, very tropical sort of style setting. Think maybe a little bit of a inspiration on like One Piece, a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean sort of style. Yeah, so there's going to be some really cool, there'll be ship v ship combat. There'll be searching for buried treasure, gold, running from some sort of version of some sort of faction, as we are often ones to do. And a lot of really cool stuff like that, where everybody is going to be either just straight up pirates or sailors. I love that it's not catching my glove. Do you guys notice that? Look. That's funny.
I'm listening. I'm just trying to ignore it.
So if you're interested in joining, we have in the video description, if you're watching this on YouTube, a way to be able to sign up for any of the campaigns that we have listed that I'm going to be talking about. But specifically, I will also be putting the Tales of Imea link in the chat, in the private chat. So that is that. So if you have any questions or interested in joining, please sign up and feel free to contact me via Start Playing. Cool. A couple months ago, we had I guess 3 months ago now, we had our Shadows of the North Shore playtest. This is a playtest for the Candela Obscura game system and sort of like game design sort of thing. If you are not familiar with that, it is from Darrington Press, so the people involved with Critical Role. A kind of cool game set into a high roleplay setting in a cosmic horror sort of style. The way we kind of added our own sort of flair to it is we put a little bit more of a further foot into the real world realm, pulling our players back into the year of 1901 in North Shore, Massachusetts. So being able to kind of use some real lore, as I am a native of Massachusetts, that I've been able to kind of form and transform and make into some really cool sort of fun stuff. So if you're interested in some cosmic horror, high role play with a game system that is honestly probably the easiest game system I've ever played or ran, please check that out. I'll be including that link here in that as well. I'm falling behind on posting these links, but cool. And then last but not least, we have our Eldritch Hunt drop in, drop out mini campaign. So for Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt, this is kind of gleaming into our sort of like Halloween type setting for people. Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt is a D&D, is a 5e supplement that has just been finished out for the Kickstarters. Will probably be out a little bit later, maybe this year, for anyone else. But this is your chance to be able to play in that world. So for those who are interested in the sort of like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, any Soulsborne like game that wants to play like a D&D version of that, that is what this is. So it's very very gothic horror designed. You are every player is some sort of version of essentially a monster hunting a monster. Everybody feels everybody's very, I say if you're used to playing D&D, you're going to feel a little overpowered as a player, but that means the enemies are just as overpowered. So it's really cool. It's a beefed up sort of game system that the crunchiness of it is honestly it's daunting at first, but really actually pretty easy once you get into it. So the drop in drop out mini campaign we have, I will be posting that link here in a second here, but also for anybody who is interested in joining, your first session is free, which means, by the way, drop in drop out style means you could play just one session, see how you feel about it, and then if you don't like it or whatever, or say like, I did with one session, you're done. That's good. You could just do that and you wouldn't have to pay a thing for it. My guess is you'll get locked in forever. Not forever. Yes, forever. You'll be sucked into the game and your soul will be forever lost. Just kidding. Cool. Am I missing anything else, Gay? I feel like I'm a little more scatterbrained than usual today.
What are you dressed as, Joe? I never got to ask.
I am dressed as a character that our New Moon crew has not met yet, but Mongoose crew are very familiar with. I am a character in our campaign known as Huxley Whetstone. Someone that you guys may meet when you get to Dare's Wharf. So, yeah. Obviously, I would say let's go around and say who we're dressed as, but I hope that's obvious who everybody's dressed as. I would say for Aaron's character, a little bit more into the Raven Queen sort of style thing, but very cool. Yeah. Man, you guys brought it. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Sweet. So, lastly, the social media stuff, I'm going to put that in the link as well, or into the private chat as well, if you want to check out the link tree for all our social media stuff. Right, I think that's about it. So, we'll say, Titian, please give us the recap whenever you are ready from where we left off.
Absolutely. Yes, I am dressed as Titian. This is an ironic tribute to John Candy now as well, but
hey, an American icon.
An American icon. Here's to you, Uncle Buck. Okay. Last session we found our party still at the tail end of their fight with Mother Udris in the city of Grifton, but in the moment of trying to escape. The first initial thing we encountered was Titian reliving a nightmare of a past memory of a massacre that he had lived through during his time in the Roar. Finding himself awakening in the midst of this battle, he continued to fight phantoms and hallucinations as Grianne and Adim tried to get him back on his feet. Everyone's seeking to escape the city guard and make their way out of town. Lovelia managed to slip a note to Aaron that simply said Massetti. After they ran off, everyone managed to find their way out of the crowd and into Kofi's boat for escape. One of the last things that was noticed was McCall fighting the town's guards and looking for his daughter Alyssa in the crowds. I believe someone clocked that. as we are running away, everyone was gotten. We managed to get Danzig and Alyssa onto the boat along with the New Moon crew. Once we hit the seas, Kofi questioned, why we had Alyssa with us, whether or not we were kidnapping them, our intentions, to which we explained, that everything that was sort of going on with the magic and the trying to get her to a place of safety. That said, Kofi immediately updated us that Alara, who is Alyssa's mother, comes from a very wealthy and powerful family with a lot of influence, especially within trade and places with ships, so that we are going to very much be on the run up until we can get off the seas. Kofi then also gave us some guidance about where we should be looking to go, highly recommending that we don't go to any southern ports. He is going to actually drop us at Dare's Wharf with a possible stop in Celeste along the way so that he can have some plausible deniability about his level of involvement with us. As we continue going on, and we are just looking to escape the Elevar family and get to safety.
You got it.
That
Cool.
is about
the only
everything.
thing. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So the only thing I will say on top of that, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about it, is that not only all that stuff happened with McCall, but McCall overheard someone saying, someone mentioning, I believe, kidnapping.
Yeah, that was the part I was a little hazy on. Did someone like in the group call out to McCall or something like?
No, I think you said something about it, seeing what was going on. I think it was just kind of a random observation.
Oh, you know what was it that Tishian was running side by side with Ianthe and Bixeldan?
On top of we were riding Danzig, you were riding Kata.
Yeah. And I think Tishian vocalized out loud, like, what the hell are we doing with this kid? Why are we taking it? And then I think McCall might have overheard that.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And one
So-
other
Yeah.
thing, Ewolf is with us as well.
Correct. Yeah, so I was going to get
Ewolf
into
is
that.
with us.
So Aaron, seeing Ewolf being carried away, Ewolf being the person that had shot an arrow seemingly to hopefully try to free Den-Mother Yudris before this whole thing started, missed, and then was carried away. Aaron, oh so well, scared the crap out of the guards, and managed to be able to free Ewolf, and so Ewolf is with us on this ship, which I will tell you all is now is actually named the Misty Maiden. So that is the name.
The Misty Maiden.
Awesome. Anything else? Anything else we forgot before we jump in? All right.
We had some heart-to-hearts on the boat, and yeah, I don't think there's much else.
Yeah, you guys learned a little bit about Ewolf's backstory on being involved with Eliane, whom you, I believe, Ianthe made known that there was told Ewolf that you guys had made contact with Eliane, but seemed to hide any sort of specifics that would make it seem like she was not okay. Awesome. Okay. So, as we begin tonight, the usual sort of setting that we have, starting from a bird's eye view over the waters that we see, would be a little bit would feel incorrect, as you are now in open water that seems to be so far away from any sort of expanse of land that it feels like it is just you, the water, and the ship. So, we will just pull the camera up from the hull as we see the the second M of the maiden coming from the back. As we look over, we have a brief view of everyone on the ship doing work, trying to find ways to be able to be helpful on the ship, as we have a elected first mate kind of directing things for everybody to do. So as we see scenes that are kind of moving, that are kind of glancing around, we'll kind of move to each person here. I will say this. Adim, last time there was kind of a general sort of statement of where you were having everybody positioned. So I will now kind of allow all of you to kind of give me an idea of what you're doing on the ship. This is the working. So trying to kind of find ways to be able to use your skills and your talents to be able to help keep the ship afloat, working in order, and going in the right direction. So let's start with Pixeltan.
Of course, Bix's first priority, he's kind of always checking on Alyssa if she's, just to make sure she's doing okay. But outside of that, he's probably just trying to find things to fix or make better.
Sure.
Whenever he can, if he can try to rig something that can shoot things, if he can, there's not a lot you can do when you're on a boat in water, but just fixing things.
There's a ton of stuff. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I like that. Cool. So I think so one thing that I think you probably notice, Pixel Dan, is that as we come up from the ship, one of the factors here is that you guys made a quick escape from a ship that was somewhat ready mast-wise. You do notice as you've kind of scanned with your well-adjusted, keen-mind eyes, you notice some significant portions of of things that are missing on the ship. Everything from the deck having kind of massive holes. You notice that there is the sort of I'm trying to think of the word for it. Basically, for lack of a better word, the banisters on the side. There's a certain there's a whole probably about 10-foot section that is missing. Mm-hmm. That seems to have cracked off at some point. You notice that I think we decided this is like a 2-mast ship,
right?
So I think you see the mast that is closer to the stern has a pretty significant sort of creak when it is being turned to kind of like steer and whatnot. For everyone at home who are like full on like you're on ship 24/7, I apologize. I'm not even going to be close to it, and actually I don't apologize. It's fantasy. But so you notice those things. So we'll say you can work on those things. I know you also kind of mentioned the ballista sort of factor. Mm-hmm. I will kind of give you the idea that you're kind of working on both, maybe the ballista on your own time.
Yeah.
But trying to kind of also seem like you're an effective member of the crew. Will say maybe you're working on kind of repairing those things.
Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna retcon my cantrip swap, and instead of control flame, I'm gonna get mending back.
Awesome. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, and I think the first thing is the safety of the boat and the seaworthiness of the boat. So I'd probably start with the mast.
Cool. I love it. So even with having that cantrip, I will give you advantage on this. Go ahead and give me your choice, either an investigation check to kind of see where the damage is the worst, or a sleight of hand check.
Investigation.
You got it.
24.
Awesome. Cool. Do me a favor, in your notes or somewhere on your sheet, I will make sure that I kind of make a mark on my side as well. But please mark just a tally mark for me, please.
Okay, I'll just put it in my notes section.
Fantastic. Oh, guys, my wife sent us a little message. So yeah,
Joe has all of our addresses, so you could just like mail us candy.
Who's that crazy person watching? Who is that?
That is my crazy wife, who will be showing up as a wombat tomorrow, and I'm very excited about that. Thank you, honey. Cool. Yeah. So that is a success. Great. I would say now at this point, anyone who wants to jump in is something you think you're specifically doing on the ship.
I would be definitely working on keeping the food supply up, using my create food and water if necessary, and using what we have in the kitchen to make it taste better and kind of keep the supply going.
Okay, you got it. I love that. So yeah, so checking the supplies that you see on there, you do notice that it is, there are a couple of options that you have to work with. I believe Kofi said that we have enough food to be able to kind of get from here to at least Celeste. Looking at the food supply that is there, that would be heavily rationed. If that was the case. So you can choose to, I know you were talking about thinking about ways to be able to kind of have that stretch out. I don't know if that was a magical thing, like a good berry or something. Or just trying to kind of find ways to be able to make the food that's there work.
Yeah, I do have create food and water, so I would use that to supplement what we have. That way nobody's rationing, everyone's well fed.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so I think on that, I'll allow you to go ahead and roll Arcana for me. And I'll say because you're using a spell as well, we'll say you have advantage.
You said Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is a 14.
14. Okay. All right. Just for the record, I'm sorry. I just realized I completely forgot. Chris, what did you get on your check?
24.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. So 14 does miss the mark today. Doesn't mean you fail on what you're doing, but we do not, I'll say, hold up on the tally mark for now. Cool. Who else?
One other thing I'm going to be doing, Joe, is I'm going to be taking lots of notes and sketches in ways I think that I could make this ship do better stuff, go faster, and things like that. That's just kind of a side project.
You got it. Yeah. So your own time sort of stuff is just working on kind of
Yep.
Building up ideas of being able to make whatever you are traveling with better and in all ways. Love that. Cool. Yeah. So who else is? What else is everybody doing on the ship?
I am doing as little work as possible. Like anytime anybody is telling me to swab the deck, I'm just like zapping it with prestidigitation. I'm like, that's good enough.
Okay. Fair. So I will say for you, go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. I don't even have my sheet pulled up. Probably not good. Well, my lowest is a 4, and I'm pretty sure I have a +1.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely
So,
not gonna do it.
We're gonna go with 5. It's definitely less than 10.
Cool. So we'll say in that regard, obviously do not take a tally mark. And every once in a while, I think maybe not based on your perception, but something that is clearly you feel that Kofi clearly notes your participation, and that will most likely affect relationships going on. But yeah, cool. Anything else? Anybody else?
I will say I also have in my pocket that I am fiddling with anytime anybody's not looking, my mirror.
Got it.
Yes. So there was a couple of things. How long did you say time has passed since last session, Joe?
Yeah, so now we're kind of in the middle of the day. So it's say like you're seeing not very much time has passed really at all,
Okay.
as we kind of mentioned. Moving aside to like having the sunset sort of happening.
Okay.
The sunset is just about to go completely down, so we're almost coming into night.
Okay. The reason I asked is because the one thing I forgot to mention the catch up is Tishian has a white mark across his face now. And we still don't know, but I don't think Tishian's had a chance. I still think Tishian doesn't know about it. I don't think Tishian's like taking time to look in the mirror or anything like that. So I think he's still kind of oblivious unless it's mentioned to him. But I think Tishian is just walking around the boat, tying knots. I think that's all he's doing. He has 60 foot of rope in his person. And he is just taking that out and tying knots like every 12 inches. Every foot he's tying one knot. Because that's just all he knows to do. He just like thinks that all that you do on ships is tie knots.
Okay,
and then
so unnecessarily knots.
And if he sees if he sees a loose like rope on the ship, he's also going to tie that off into a knot. So like he's just walking around. Okay. He only knows one thing about boats, and that's you tie knots as a sailor. So he's going about doing that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This is super freaking weird. But sorry, in regards to what the doing on this, but I love that. I'm gonna say go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. It's a straight roll.
All right. Oh, okay. I can do something with that maybe. Okay, that is a 10.
Cool. Not quite enough for the tally mark, but yes, absolutely. Great. And we'll, for the record, this is for this mechanic. After this, you guys can tell me we have a long journey. So say you guys can tell me kind of like what you're doing as we kind of progress. Sure. We'll have time for that for sure. Awesome. So we have Green and Nadine. Whoever wants to jump in.
Green, I'm probably just flying around adjusting the sails as being told from up top. And then if there's a crow's nest, probably up there as well. Because I think my spyglass works as a regular spyglass, but also can see through rock.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
So he's probably hanging up there too and like taking a look at what's around when he's not adjusting the sails as per orders.
So I will say, actually, it's funny in this because Bixadan, you are kind of like close to the you're on the deck of the ship, but you're kind of like facing the sort of mast as Green is kind of flying above. You do hear the occasional sort of shouts from Kofi that is directional sort of things as the wheel seems to be kind of like occasionally every once in a while seemingly like having trouble budging. So Green, I think you might be able to kind of help in positioning that. However, the directions are things like due north, due east, due north, due west, in specific degrees. Bixadan.
I know what those are.
Do you help out in this in any way?
Oh, absolutely. As condescending a way as possible.
Love that. Awesome. Cool. Bixadan, go ahead and just describe to me exactly how you're helping.
I'm just like going left, your other left. Okay, right, yeah, and just like that the whole time.
Yeah, left in terms of like moving a circular object being the mask is really funny. Like it's yeah. That's funny. Okay, great.
The tangent. Yeah. Don't you know? Do I need to spell it?
That's awesome. Okay, so Green, I would like a survival check with advantage, please.
Okay. I got a 23.
Awesome. Very cool. Please take a tally mark. And Adine.
For the most part, Adima is going to be doing what Green mentioned when he's yelled at, or when he's given an order. I'll be the one giving the orders. But I'm not going Vix's route of being condescending. I realize most of them are not shipfarers, so I'm more like, hey, that's a good job, but it'd be better if you did it this way.
Yeah.
So I'm going around like trying to teach them what to do, even to the point of like being a little gentle but forceful with Anthony, like, hey, that was great cleaning that. Now try this. And like there's something that's light work but a step up from where she was to make the ship run faster. And like with Titian, like same thing, like those knots are amazing. Could you tie it over there? Like just
Love
trying
it.
to guide what they're doing into a healthy place.
Okay.
As well as doing any work that I think needs to be done that I can do faster. Um,
Okay. Cool. So I
but
think
in my
because
off
you're
time, what I would like to do.
well, hold on one second, because this
Oh,
is just for the
oh,
mechanic. Because like I
I'm
said, you
sorry.
guys are
Go
gonna have
ahead.
plenty of time to talk. No, you're totally fine. You
Got
guys
it.
are gonna have plenty of time to kind of get an idea of like what does downtime look like for you guys.
Okay.
As we're probably gonna have a couple role play in those scenes. But yeah, okay, great. I think this does a couple things. One, Adim, I would like you to roll I'd like you to roll a persuasion check with advantage as you are trying to kind of be able to kind of create a sense of understanding in the things that you already are proficient with.
Yay! Not a good.
DC is lower.
Well, it's a 7. Uh, I rolled a
Seven.
7 and a 4.
You got it.
So
That's all right. It's what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
So this time around, this time around for today, for really tonight, you are. I wonder if for Adim. I think in regards to the party, I think it's such a jarring twist for like being that like leader that is like talking and trying to be as helpful as possible, but being honestly just very talkative in general. I
yeah,
think
this
it's
is
that's
somebody that none of them have ever seen. Like it's a
yeah.
is this what he's like?
Yeah. So this is where we kind of get into that realm of like, I think first day is just both Titian and Ianthe just kind of watching you and kind of just like being just lost in the idea.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
oh, that was to me. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I do want to mention one of the things I want to do on my off time, only because it might change what happens with the ship.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
less downtime with them, although that will happen too. It's more than when I have a free moment, I jump overboard, and I check the underside of the ship a lot. Like I'm in the water a lot. I'm always, making sure I get back up, of course, because it's a ship and I know my way around. But it's nothing to see me just like, oh wait, I think I know where, and I'll cut the other side. Okay, yeah, I found it, or whatever. Like I'm taking advantage of being in the water as much as I can, but still getting work done.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Well, that was a 19. So the yay.
Excellent. So for the underhull of the ship, this is something that kind of becomes an interesting sort of option. The ship itself, as far as damage goes, you don't see a lot. You see some. You can actually see like markings of where clearly there were some Sahuagin that like latched on to the ship and kind of walked. You can kind of actually even see with the 19, you can kind of see how this kind of took place. Just like from where they kind of started that. But you also notice the ship itself, like the underhull area, is probably severely weighted down by the sort of encrustment, for lack of whatever that word would be, of some significant like barnacle sort of damage, and like things that have kind of attached itself to a ship. You do know that there is someone else on here that definitely could learn a thing or two about being in the water.
Yes. In fact, so two things. One, I will mention to Kofi about the barnacles. I want to mention to Bix about how do you say it? Because I say it differently in my campaign. The creatures underwater.
Sahuagin?
So who again? Okay, so um, so I want to mention to Bix what I noticed about this Hooligan able to like being able to board and get a hold of the ship. Just let him know, hey, this is what was done because he might have some creative way to protect the ship in the future.
I love that.
And like
So
I said,
I'll tell
once
her-
he tells me that, the sketchbook's coming out,
That's
and
fine.
I'm working on it.
You
But
thankfully have done enough
there's
work
a lot
on
of
the mask that you like all of a sudden like I'm cutting out early and like.
Well, I mean, let's face it. In character, this I'm feeling like I got something I can do now. I can contribute a little bit more because when I was in Grifted, I felt like I couldn't do much of anything. So this
But
is just very freeing right now.
because of what you said with the barnacle buildup, I mentioned Dianthe because she's doing the prestidigitation, the cleaning every now and again, the mending. I'm like, hey, I have something for you. I think you can help with that spell. And I see if I can get her underwater with me, and I will guide her when she's ready, and I will be with her, and being like, hey, this is what underwater is like, kind of thing. And could you get that barnacle? Could you get that area? Like, I will try and guide her down there and see if I can help her. I'm not just going to push her over. I'm going to
Right,
go
so-
with her and guide her under.
Yeah. So first off, Ianthe, do you jump off the ship?
Yeah, I think she'll be like hesitant, but she trusts Adim enough to like.
You must go and change, of course.
Yeah, I'm not wearing this gown.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fully expected that to happen.
That's not happening.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you change into because I don't think you guys necessarily have like swimming gear or anything, but I think you just change it to like pants and like a shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome, yeah. So in that regard, I would like a full reroll for Ianthe. Same concept. You are, and I will say it is now with advantage instead of disadvantage.
Okay. Still perception?
Is that what it was before? I would say in this regard, it will be you're using prestidigitation on this. I'll allow this to be Arcana.
Ironically, I'm better at perception.
Yeah. Let's say
Not by
it
much.
could be. I will say I'll give you another choice. I'll say either Arcana or Nature, if that makes no difference.
I don't think it does. It does not. But with advantage, I got a natural 20.
Okay, very cool. You, Ianthe, you can tell me how this kind of plays in for you. But with a natural 20, you see as a demon is kind of guiding you under the water. Actually, let's kind of like I'd like to role play this scene a little bit because I think one of the questions I kind of have is, has Ianthe really spent a lot of time underwater?
I think she has spent time underwater. I don't think she's ever spent a significant amount of time. She's never been like out to sea. She's never been where she can't see land. And I think I'm thinking like even when she goes out, far from the beach, she's playing in water that's like 15, 20 feet deep maybe. So it's like you can still see the floor or the sand bed.
Right.
She's never been in like big open water like this before.
Okay. Yeah. So you're guided by a demon underwater. Adim, you're guiding her to where the problem is. As you can see, it's mostly by the bow of the ship.
And I'm also showing her like what's underwater when I notice things that I just take for granted, realizing she's for the most part a surface dweller who just happens to be able to breathe water. As far as being distant out. So I'll mention just offhand things like, oh, that's what this is. Oh, those fish are doing that because. Just having conversation. I'm also interested in making sure that I'm always in her sight.
Cool.
I'm not like saying, oh, I'll be right back and leaving under there. I'm always where she can see me. I will swim ahead if need to. If she's going to turn around and do something, I will do a quick dash motion to be where she is and like just go with her until it seems like she is very comfortable. And if that never happens, I'm always in her sight.
I have to give me a perception check with advantage.
See if I go with that nat 20 again. No, it's a 13.
Okay. With a 13, let's start this scene back from the beginning. So, Adim, you approach Ianthe. Let's start from there.
Excuse me, Ianthe.
Hmm?
I see you're doing
Oh.
a neat job cleaning these things up.
Oh, I just finished swabbing the deck.
Yeah, I
Looks great.
well, it does. And actually, I found something under on the ship's hull that I could use your help with.
Under,
Yes, water.
like down below.
Well, under the ship, in the water. With your spells, you're the perfect person to do it with me. I can show you where to go, and you won't be
Oh.
in danger of drowning. Do you mind?
I guess I've never done that before. I'll have to go change. This thing is really heavy, and
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
no way I
I'll
can swim in
be
this.
up here working. Just tell me when you're ready, and I'll be with you. I'm going to show you what to do.
Okay.
Cool. Ianthe, you go in to change. You take a quick peek in. You see Alyssa is still seemingly unconscious, but kind of like covered in blankets that I think you probably noticing, and you notice that there is a little bit of a shiver from, actually, opposite of that. Sorry, I think you see Alyssa looks like she's sweating a little bit, still fully unconscious. So if you want to kind of say maybe that's one too many blankets and pull it off, you can do that.
Yeah, I'll pull one off of her. I don't know if I can create a little gust of air. I don't know what prestidigitation can do, but if I can, I will.
Yeah, I think that
Just
would
like
be
a little fan.
just a great. You go and change, and you come back up to the ship. You see, for the record, you see Ewolf is up in the crow's nest, kind of sitting, not doing anything, not being really much of a help at all, kind of just sitting in kind of the sort of crouch position up there. So you might not see that, but the camera sees that. As soon as you walk into your room, sorry, down below, we're kind of going back and forth time-wise, but I think as soon as you walk down to your room, you see half your room is taken up by a very large Cerberus, as Danzig is kind of looks up from the dog bed that is your bed. And you see the tail sort of wag for a second, but no response.
Hello, darling. I have to go take care of this, and then we'll go for a walk.
You walk out as Danzig just has a confused look on his face as the idea of a walk on
I
the ship
fully
is terrifying.
Yeah, I fully talk to Danzig like he can understand me.
Yes. Cool. And so you head back up. So you could change. You come back up and you go into a team.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared. I've never done this before.
Oh, well, if there's anybody on the ship that can do it, it's you. So,
right.
I assume you've been in the water before.
Yeah, of course I've been in the water before, but never this open.
How do you usually enter the water?
From the beach.
So you walk in. Okay, well, and I throw a rope bridge over. I'm like, well, let's go down this way. So I don't dive. She's probably seen me diving in and jumping out, but I will walk down and meet her down in the water.
Cool.
And then once she's in, I'm like, okay, so are you ready to go under and see what we need to do?
I think so.
Okay. And I just dip my head in about 3 inches under so she can see that I'm waiting for her.
I feel like she takes a giant breath even though she doesn't need to, but it's like just out of habit.
And as we're down there, I'm like, okay, remember, you're a water breather. We don't need to breathe. We don't need to hold our breath.
Right.
Back. And I'm talking.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so great. So let's go this way. And like, I'll just stay ahead of her and swim and kind of explain.
I think she.
Go ahead.
I think she stops for a minute and she's just kind of taking it in. Like, again, underwater is big.
And I see that. So I just notice that and be like, isn't it beautiful down here? And like mention, whatever I'm seeing. If it's kelp, if it's fish swimming, if it's eddies in the water, if it's the way the rock outcropping has been washed away by the tide, whatever. I just start talking about what we're swimming around and not really worry about the ship for a little while just so she can kind of understand her surroundings and see that I'm comfortable so she can become more comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I think this nat 20 comes in. Ianthe, as you find yourself in an area that is something that maybe you feel free to always say no, but maybe some place that you feel like you should have felt comfortable in and never have. You bring yourself underneath and feel like you're in a Deem's world. There's I think there's a significant sort of like sense of, as a Deem is trying to make you feel as comfortable as possible, and still in the realms of like, I'm directing, I'm trying to make sure that everybody has something to do, that everybody's you feel a Deem is I think not only talking more than you normally hear a Deem talking, but you feel like a Deem is talking to be able to work really hard to make you feel comfortable. And I don't think that's what works for Ianthe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the idea of like explaining into it. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking. I feel like a scenario would be sort of her mother's worship of Saloon,
right?
And how she plays along with it, but it's never really felt right.
Yeah, and I think So we're told. I think we're in the same mind here, where it's like the concept of like the explanation of things. You are reminded of your mother kind of giving you sort of the like the not even necessarily sermons, just like full on like understanding of the history of Salune's connection with other pantheons sort of thing, and it becomes maybe work might be the best like it's just it feels outside of a connection here. So I think as a Deem is guiding you down, a Deem got you down here. But I would like you, Ianthe, to tell me what happens to make you feel like this is either a next level of comfort, or maybe something you want to visit more, something that might feel a little bit more, might feel like a little bit more like home, or like a second home. What happens?
I think she gets in, and how dark is the water?
It's actually very clear here.
Very clear. Okay, that helps. Because I think if it was dark, that'd be a different story.
And you do not see the bottom. So that's I think the initial sort of like
Yeah, I think that's the initial shock, is maybe she's pausing because she's looking down and she can't see it. But I think I'm trying to think of how to like word this. I think she almost becomes like, this is going to sound stupid, but she almost becomes a little bit like a mermaid and just realizes how much more room she has to explore and how much more there is. And recognizing like, oh, not seeing the bottom means there's more to it.
with that perception check, you see an expanse of blue, and in your initial sort of dive in, the sea life quickly ran away. But the more time you spend down here, you start to see that it kind of starts to come back in. You see schools of fish that have this pearlescent sort of coat to them. You see I think you see it's the small. I think it's tiger shark, like the smaller sort of sharks, like swim by, and there's a moment of like on that, and then you see that it seems to kind of turn and go around you in a circle, and then move off. There's a feeling of, maybe in this moment at least, I'm supposed to be here right now. Just for this moment.
Yeah.
And it's in that moment that you hear a noise. Adim, I would actually also say, like, your perception check was for the barnacle things. I would like you to also give me a perception check.
Okay. That was a 13. 19 for the barnacles, 13 for the noise.
13 for the noise. Cool. Yeah. So pretty much, yeah. So exactly the same as what. Sorry, 1 second. I want to make sure that I don't screw this up. You see a figure. I say actually, as you're looking at the problem of the ship, you actually see there's you kind of have connected yourself with sea life, and you're looking at the problem now, and you see there is as you're looking at the like kind of barnacles and like incrustation on the bow of the ship, you see that there's a second where there is a shadow that passes over, and as you turn around, what you see is something that you have never seen before. You see something that looks to be almost galloping around you. The elongated sort of face of a horse. You see a almost razor-like fin on the top of the head that seems to kind of go back down the back. And as you see, the like horse-like feet seem to kind of spread out into fins towards the end. As you see the end of this creature morphs into a almost mermaid-like end. It is extremely beautiful, albeit scary. And this is a large creature, mechanically speaking. And you see it kind of looks at you, and it does the same sort of like kind of like snort thing that a horse would do, but you see just bubbles. Adim, you see at the same time Ianthe does. I fully think, Adim, you don't need a roll for this. This is a hippocampus. You've seen them all the time down below, closer to Anorga.
Right. Yeah.
You've never seen one this close to the surface. Yeah.
Yeah, that is strange.
I don't think, Ianthe, you know what this is.
No.
You can roll if you want. Okay.
No.
I think, honestly, Adim, you do notice, like, Ianthe seems to be fully involved with what this thing is, as they seem to be staring at each other for a second. I think, Adim, you do get the feeling that Ianthe does not know what this is.
I'm guessing, since it's not being threatening to us, I assume. It's not.
It's just kind of standing there. It seems like it's just observing.
Okay, so then I'll let them interact with the visual. I'll let them visually interact with each other, and just quietly give a, they're beautiful, aren't they? Just not to push her, but to be like, hey, I know what that is if you don't, and if you do, then I'm agreeing that they're beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
that's good.
What is it?
it's called a hippocampus.
Are they rare?
I've never seen this one close to this. I've never seen one this close to the surface, but I've seen them deeper. So I suppose this one must be here for a reason. I just don't know what that reason might be. But it's not threatening, so we're not near any of its grounds. Seems to like you, though.
Do you suppose it's lost? Does it need help?
They're pretty bright, as bright as horses are. So not incredibly bright, but they're. I think, and please tell me if I'm saying anything that's outside of your campaign because I'm making stuff up at this goes. I
Go for
think
it,
they usually run in herds, so it's unusual to see one by itself. I just kind of put my hands up like this to it, just like as out to see if it will react in any way. Like, does it?
Yeah.
Is it trained? Because I know we train hippocampi.
Right. Animal handling with advantage.
And so I don't really have any of that, but let's see what happens. Let's see.
Known animal lovers, Adim and Ianthe.
Right? Okay, wow. Okay, an 18.
Yeah, great. You see, this is notable. You see the hippocampus seems to bow to you in reverence, exactly how you've seen hippocampus do that are trained.
Okay. I will confidently, but very clearly, slowly approach it. So confident, but not like in an aggressive manner, but like now that it's bowed to me, it's been trained, I'm just going to approach it. Do I have anything in my pouch that I can reach that a hippocampi might like to eat, i.e. giving a horse an apple?
Well, I will say, I say in inspecting the hull, it's a little bit of a long shot. You're not sure. I think it's probably similar to maybe like a level of old oats of the barnacles itself. So that's something that you think
Right. Okay. So then I'll approach it slowly. Motion at Anthe to get some barnacles as well, and I will lead in to see if it will take the barnacles from my hand.
Looks over. You see one more. Just the bubbles kind of move up, and it goes down. It starts to kind of eat out of your hand, and then it seems to knock the barnacles off so that they're floating in the water.
So it doesn't want those.
No. It is eating it, but it's choosing in this world. In this area underwater, you don't have to necessarily because gravity is slower,
It's gonna float. It goes, okay, so it's not knocking them away; it's just knocking out of my hand. Okay,
knocking him up so it can eat on its own on that. But yeah.
So I said, see if it'll take some of the barnacles from you.
Okay. Here. Do you want some?
Does the same thing with you, kind of almost a little gentler, kind of nuzzles your hand as your hand kind of just goes up, and then eats out of your hand, and then turns its back to both of you, but stays where it is.
To me, that looks like it wants us to mount. Is that what I've seen when? Okay. Looks like it wants us to mount it. I don't know if it's us or you though. It seems like you better.
Okay.
So I don't want to anger it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I will go to the side of it so I can see that I'm still behind it and kind of guide Ianthe on, assuming she wants to get on.
Yeah.
If the hippocampus waits for me to mount it as well, I will mount behind her. If it decides to go off without me on it, I will do my best to swim with it.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say you rolled pretty dang good with the animal handling check, and I think you get the sense that it kind of stays where it is. For the Anorians that would ride these hippocampus, they do have like a sort of like stirrup sort of thing that you would normally see. You do not see anything like that on this, so you get the feeling that you're not able to really direct where it would go.
Right. So this could
But
be
it seems
fun.
like that's on purpose. Like it seems like you're like it seems to want to bring you somewhere.
Okay. What I am going to do is, are we close to the surface?
Yes, yeah, I'd say you're probably maybe 15 feet below the surface.
Okay, so as she's approaching it to mount it, I will bop my head of water and saying, right now we're both okay. It's going to take a little longer than I expected, and then go back down. So
She's like, oh, I totally forgot about them.
yeah. Well, I'm in my
Tell them to walk Danzig.
So, and then I'll come back down, and I guess we're going to ride the hippocampus.
Okay. So, as you mount behind Ianthe onto this hippocampus, and you feel like the you have to kind of get up really close to it as the back half of it is so. There's a lot of muscles working back there. That's very like malleable, as it is essentially like a mermaid tail.
Okay.
You see it kind of make one push with its massive tail up, and it comes down, and you feel yourself jettison down, moving 30 feet with one push. I will say, yeah, I think as we're kind of like pulling stuff up, what is going through Ianthe's mind?
She's holding on for dear life. I don't think Ianthe has a lot of experience with horses, let alone water horses.
Yeah.
So she's curious and excited, but physically is holding on for dear life.
Cool.
Because weirdly, she's afraid of falling off. And it's not fully registering. Like, if you fall off, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Adim, any notable things as you're flying along?
There. My phone's making noise, so I muted myself. I think I'm behind Ianthe, trying to make sure that like I'm holding on for both of us. Not so much afraid that I'm going to fall off, but I'm more afraid that if we fall off, it might just go off into the distance and we might not see it again. I'm more curious where it's going, because this is unusual. Like, somebody needs. I'm guessing maybe its owner needs help. The person who trained it needs help, maybe. So I'm just kind of curious with that. Other than that, I'm just keeping my mouth shut to watch for it, and I am going to use my bracelet, my thing, to tell Titian, and is it just Titian or no? Grian has one too. Titian and Grian that basically, hey, a hippocampus came up. It motioned for us to mount it. We're on a journey. We'll be back soon. And I kind of let them see from my
We're on a
mind
side quest.
where we are, that we're safe. Like, I give them the idea so they know exactly what's going on as much as they can without being down here with us.
Yeah.
Cool. And I add, please walk the dog.
Thank you.
I love that. Cool. So I think, yeah, this is a good kind of like time to be able to kind of like cut from this moment as we go back above deck. So we'll take it from we'll start from Titian's perspective. As Titian, you hear that you hear that response. What do you do?
I think Titian you can respond back with these stones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can have full conversations back.
Yeah. Titian will just respond. Hey Dean, thanks for letting us know. Have fun with your hippopotamus friend. And that'll, just be safe. All right. And then Titian will just sort of hang up the stone. Because Titian, I think, just sort of figures like a deem is a deem. and like Adim can handle himself. I think that's sort of like a mutual respect that Adim and Tishian have for each other. Kind of like
Absolutely, yeah.
they've both seen each other in combat, so it's like there's few scrapes Adim can't get out of, especially if Ianthe's with him.
Right. Absolutely.
But I think Tishian will just sort of like make it a point to, I think, just tell everyone. Like, I think he'll go up to Bixel and be like, "Hey, I'm Bix.
Yeah.
Hi.
I picture Bix has a notebook out right now.
Yeah. Just to let you know, Adim just gave us the word, and he's with the hypotenuse right now, and he's just absolutely
A what? A what?
Hypotenuse.
What do triangles have to do with Adim right now?
Hell if I know, but it's in the water, so it's aquatic.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Okay. Hope they watch out for sharks down there.
I love you so much, Matt. No,
I was gonna hold that in, but I just saw my
Do
wife
not
up there just
apologize
dying.
to me.
That was
Do
wonderful.
not
That was wonderful.
No,
How
sorry.
dare you.
No, I'm apologizing to my wife because I think I almost killed her. But no, yeah. So no, he's just out. He's out like just travel. I just want to let you know, like, we don't need to worry about him if he's going to be a little bit late. But I see that you're busy way scritching, right there, like sketching a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. You need help with anything? Need any knots tied or?
You've been doing an amazing job tying knots. I think if you keep that up, we'll be there in no time.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the.
What's with the line, anyways?
The what?
The line here on you. There's you're different now.
What are you talking about?
Don't have a mirror. Okay. Well, like here to here is white on you now, and that's a new thing, right?
Here to here's. Is it in a spot where Tishian can see? Like, I'm assuming he can see a little bit.
You?
Like, I was the
This
one
is
that
you,
decided
man.
this, right?
Yeah, this is you.
I think Tishian looks
No.
down. No.
Sorry.
No. You're so fucking stupid for even asking, Matt. No.
Why are you gonna ask that? We had an agreement. No. Okay.
I think Tishian. What are you talking about? Like what? Like what are you talking about? Like nothing happened. I'm fine. Oh shit! Is there like a little bit of white on me?
I'll be like, I can't really reach it, so I'll like mage hand it and just say, from here to here,
Yeah, you just feel.
you've got a white line.
No, do you got a mirror or anything like that? What's going on?
I just said I don't have a mirror.
Well, I still wanted to ask. Maybe you found one between now and then. I don't know. You seem to have a bunch of stuff.
So
Unfortunately, a mirror is one thing. I would love to have one, but I don't.
An interesting question, Pixel. When you are pointing out his scar, are you touching it with Mage Hand? Like, are you kind of like giving the idea of like this is where it is?
I think I'm just kind of pointing. I don't think I want to violate his space that much.
Sure.
Oh, all right. Well,
And like I could have sworn, like I said, we just met like 3 days ago, but I could have sworn that's new.
All right. Well, shit. All right. Tishian will go over to the side of the boat to see if he can see his reflection in the water.
Okay.
Is that a possibility? Yeah, maybe.
And I will stupidly try to hold him back so he doesn't fall in.
Love it. Yes. The goblin holding Tishian by the pants. As
Just grab the tail. It'll be all right. Just grab the tail.
Got it.
yeah. I will say it's the sea itself isn't like crazy calm because you're in open water in here. So I want to make that perfectly clear. But I like the creativeness, so I'm going to say yes, you do see that.
Okay. I think it's gonna be like in ripples, but just like enough of a.
Yeah.
Tishian will look over. And I think he'll just sort of like see. And the moment he sees where sort of the mark is, he'll sort of reach out to touch it with his hand. And I imagine it's sort of like clear across his face like this, little sideways. What the hell?
So you touch it?
Yeah, I think he absolutely touches it. He like sort of traces it out.
Wisdom saving throw.
That was coming.
This is like the third time I've done it, and I rolled pretty high the last time, but I don't think it had like much of an outcome.
It's a load easy.
It'd be even better if my iPad would help me out here. Sorry. Wisdom you said, right?
Yes.
All right. How does a 23 sound?
23 sounds great. I will say, like, something definitely does happen as there's a moment where you and you can tell me how how this connects. We'll kind of take that 23 as like a insight check as well in that regard. You know what this is from, or at least you suspect. Like, it's up to you as far as like, but you're starting to connect.
Yeah, I think Tishy and Eslong, the moment he sees across his face, he's going, "What the hell?" And then like he's immediately thinking about that feeling that he had back in the dream, and then that moment of that sort of like hitting him across the face.
Is it because this was from the blood pattern, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I imagine it kind of looks. It doesn't really look like a scar. I don't think. I think it just looks kind of more like not necessarily splotchy, but like like how
Splatter?
blood would hit at a high speed.
Yeah.
It seems,
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a yeah, just exactly like just a trail that's also like kind of trickly.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Bix, you can pull me up now.
Got it.
And Tishin will wait until Bix actually he can feel Bix pulling him.
And I'll actually go turn my body so it's over my shoulder and like try to.
Yeah, and Tishin will make it a big deal to make it feel like Bix did like a really good job. Oh shit! Oh man, I don't think I would. Thank you, Bix. I don't think I'd have made it without you there. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the flattery. I really do.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do not need to make a check for that, because then you absolutely know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
physically impossible. That's great.
Bix, I don't. Do you recognize this? I don't know what this is.
I need a box to stand on, so I can get a closer look.
Do you want me just hold you like this right here with my hand? Like,
Well, I would say, Grian, you're you haven't been called to change the direction of the mass anytime soon. You're seeing this, I think, from above. Do you choose to interact at this point at all?
No, I think
So
I
you
let
also
them.
see Ewolf like kind of like hugging his knees on the crow's nest too. So whatever you think you're doing here.
I think I'm just taking a look. I'm just watching forward. And then figure it all
You're
out.
watching the scene below.
Yeah, just watching.
Well, considering when he was getting a tattoo, I was climbing in his lap to look at the tattoo gun. I would probably let him lift me up so I could get a better look.
yeah,
Love that.
yeah.
God, someone again. This is where, hey, fans, make that scene because that's adorable. I love that.
Like, would I be able to look at it and say that looks like blood spatter or something like that?
Yeah, roll me an investigation check, I think.
Okay. You're so kind.
I would say, since like I'm describing it, I think it's
It's a
definitely
15.
it's definitely fur, but it sort of defies the logic of fur too. Like it's not. Does that make sense? Like in like
I
it's
kind of pictured it like a bleach mark.
yeah.
What do you think? Okay.
It's when I say it defines, like it defies, like when I say fur, like it's more defined than you think it should be. Like it's
like in the way how hair would grow over
Yeah.
a scar, like how it
Yeah.
kind of like it looks like tufty and like sort of cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
yeah.
Yes, you fully are able to recognize. What you see, Bixodan, with a 15 is something that looks to be like there was a liquid that Tishian was marked with that seemed to affect the skin underneath. It the expression of the fur makes it seem like it's a scar, but I think if you're inspecting like with fingers, you do not see a Titian, does he feel a scar?
No physical scar.
And if I sit there and poke around, I can tell it's the fur. There's no skin that's changed color under it.
Yeah. Also, I would like a. I'm going to say for you. For you, I'd like a wisdom saving throw.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get Titian's plus whatevers?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's +4.
Okay, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. There's a point where for artificers it's always a little tricky to explain. But there's a point I think for Pixel Dan where you feel for a second that as you're touching with one hand, you feel like the I think even with maybe some of the cantrips, there's a certain point where we just kind of define it as magic. Like there are things that you use to be able to kind of make this, but every once in a while you do have some sort of just generalized magic sort of in your fingertips that helps to fuel the things that you made.
Right.
You feel I think in a way of like almost like feeling like a cold chill sort of pass through your body from the fingers that's touching to the end there, and you feel your other hand. You feel strong.
Strong?
Yeah. Just from where you would. I think what you notice is your hands and your brain feel strong and clear is the best way I can kind of try to explain it, at least right now at this point. It feels like something is amplifying you.
I don't know if Arcana would help me at all here figuring out what's
But
going
I will
on.
say, it will absolutely not. It would be a religion check.
Okie dokie. I don't have the skill, but I have high intelligence. 23.
23. With a 23, and forgive me, that is a very high roll, but I do think with a 23, you get the idea that you do not understand this magic, and it is different.
That is fair.
I don't think you've spent much time with paladins and clerics. You know,
No,
that
absolutely
for
not.
sure. But you, whether you think that's like a cheating way out or like it's not your magic, so therefore whatever the feelings you get from that, I think it's made you not be concerned with that sort of part of the world. This might change that.
Yeah, especially, I mean, as I said, right now, I kind of get how druids and wizards get their vibe, so it could definitely help on that trip.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, that is amazing. Could you set me down, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Get my notebook out. Start
okay.
sketching.
Oh, you're gonna draw me right now?
If you don't mind.
All right, hold on. Let me get.
Can you puff up the left a little bit more? Perfect.
Puff up the left is amazing because I have no clue what that means. I think that's such a funny and Titian doesn't ask. Titian's just like,
Sure.
that's so good. That's really funny. Puff up the left. What? Okay. That's great. Bixadan, are you good at? Are you actually drawing, Titian?
Well, it wouldn't be. I'm not like an artist by any means, but I do probably have quite a bit of scientific type drawing and sketching, so it's probably pretty rough.
Not right now.
Oh, wow.
What you draw is something that you're even surprised with. Something that you're not concerned with. You're not trying to make a portrait sort of thing. But things feel a little easier. You're able to kind of guide the pencil to be able to make details that you would maybe like to in terms of reference. But it does look much better than anything else you've ever drawn.
and I will be impressed with that and I'll put 2 and 2 together on that one.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. Thank you very much, Lion. That is great.
I mean, I'm technically it's Leonin. Um, are you done? Are you?
If you want me to be done, I'm done.
Can I move?
Yes, you can
Oh,
deflate
okay.
a little bit.
You didn't give me much of a heads up. I didn't take much of a breath before posing.
I apologize.
That's fine. That's fine. So what? You haven't really said much except that it's amazing and that you wanted to draw me. But what is going on?
Well. See, it's very interesting. I touched it, and I
Yep.
felt cold but strong. It was really weird, and I couldn't like figure out where this was emanating from. It wasn't like the arcane like I understand. It wasn't a natural type thing. So I didn't quite get that. It seemed something beyond that. It was quite amazing. And then what is also absolutely fascinating is that look at this, and I'll show them the picture. I don't draw that well.
I mean, I mean, if you're no, you draw really good. Look at what you
Thank
did
you
there.
again.
That's that's
Are
pretty
you
great.
looking at like previous pictures?
Yeah, I
It
probably
is
showed
like
them
it is,
stick figures and stuff.
yeah, yeah. You should, like,
Tishy's
no,
just
don't say
thinking.
that.
Yeah, Tishy's just thinking you're fishing for compliments right now about like your drawing skill.
Like any
So you're
technical drawing is probably pretty solid, but anything about something alive is probably like stick figures.
Yeah, say
Yeah.
I will say this, Titian. If you are paying attention to it, like I love the idea of like giving the compliment before you're even knowing if it's
Yeah.
Oh
worthy.
yeah.
But you do notice like the drawing is decent. It's not, I don't know what art Titian has seen in his time, but you can clearly see that is what you look like when you look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh wow, that's actually. I mean, that's actually quite. Yeah, that's quite a bit better than the stick figures you were drawing in the other
I,
pages. That's
I agree completely with that statement.
look at that. You not just caught my likeness. You kind of got my like mystique as
I think I
well.
have the essence of your personality in that drawing.
Yeah, you didn't just capture me. You captured like my being in that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that is wow. That is really good.
The depth of your character is quite reflected in that image.
So are you saying that your the cold strength that you got from me is like what caused you to draw that well?
Well, it's after I poked you, and then I don't know what made me do it. It just did it.
You poked me and you just were able to do it. Okay.
I was inspired after I poked you.
Oh wow. I'm just gonna let that lie there for a second.
Grian,
But
you hear that for sure.
I feel like you're just like in the process, like nice.
That's so good.
That I mean that must be okay. Well then that's are you should I like share this gift with other people? You think this is something like everyone can benefit from?
I can tell you this: I am a inquisitive yet skeptical individual, and if I benefited from that, I feel others could also benefit from that.
I think with that in mind, Tishian will look up at Grian and just go, "Hey, Grian, come down here and touch my face."
Want me to touch it again?
No, like, yeah, can you come down here? Like, we're doing a little bit of an experiment. Can you come down here and touch my face?
Yeah, so Greed will come down and then just be like, you couldn't get enough of it the first couple times, and he'll like touch his face.
Cool.
This
Yeah,
is the
Grian,
weirdest scene ever.
roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Just for note, Bixel then passed it, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So what happens when you fail it? I got a 2.
A 2?
Yeah.
About to find out.
Oh boy.
Cool.
+4.
Yes, you do have the +4, but that'll be 6, which is still a fail.
Yeah.
I think what we see from Grian, as the camera's kind of pointed in the, I think overall just like happy face, the like thing of like, this is funny, this is silly, I'm in for this. You see Grian's face fall quickly. As Grian, you start to hear screams. You hear the sound of blades piercing through flesh. They're locked away in an area that you do not like to go. In a memory that is not a place that you feel gives you anything but anger and dread and shame. You take 4 points of psychic damage. And tell me what Grian does.
So I feel like in full like haunted house mode, like Grian's in such his head that he like forgets where he is and full on like decks to shoot in the face on accident. Just like someone coming up next to him and just like punches him.
Yeah, I love that. Just going right in. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I forget what unarmed is. It is 20 to hit.
AC 21.
Okay.
Well, it'll
You wanna
hit.
take it?
It'll hit. It'll hit.
You got it. I fully don't think the damage is going to matter here, but just for fun, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Just 1 point.
Take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. Titian, you see Grian just almost impulsively. It happens faster than you have time to even defend yourself against your friend.
But I feel like as he connects and pulls back, he's just like, "Oh my god, so sorry. Oh my god."
Oh, what was that? What happened?
I was not in a good spot in like a memory. It was like a horrible memory.
What kind of memory? Was
Fighting, death, that kind of stuff.
it a punch in the face memory?
I mean, they can't come out of nowhere. I just, I thought I saw something and I just reacted. I'm sorry.
What did you see? I need to know, and I'm starting on like taking notes.
I saw people in a village getting slaughtered by...
What village? Do you know this village?
I would just rather not talk about it, but it was definitely Lucan and his brothers and his band of merry men.
Oh, these are people you knew?
Not the screams I heard. I didn't know them well, but I was there when they were attacked.
Were you doing the attacking?
Just to Titian's face.
Titian, I do think there's a second where you do get really like freaked out by the idea that Grian may have seen your memories.
That's why I was asking, and that's why I was sort of like,
yeah.
you saw your, like, I think that's the moment, like, as soon as you're like attacking, That's why Tishy needed confirmation. Like, oh, you're people. These were people that you knew because you're not like. If you saw Leonin, I don't think I think that would have been freakier to Tishy in a way. But you saw like Luke. Like this was a memory that you had.
Yeah, it's one I don't think about too often. It's not a joyful one by any means.
Was it what were you? But what were you doing at a massacre? Were you?
It was just a normal Thursday.
Hold on. What? Hold on. What do you mean normal? Did you do that sort of stuff, Grant? Like,
No, it was a joke. Don't worry about it.
hey, listen, look at me right in the eye. I'm all for having a good time, but there's some things that just aren't funny. And that right there is not something to laugh about.
Some of us cope with it different ways than others. But on that note, I'm gonna go. He's just gonna like walk off.
Okay.
And I'm writing in my book, Grand Massacre.
All right. I think Tishian's gonna be like a little bit more like sour right now. He knows he killed the mood, but like he's just gonna like walk away slowly from Bixelland now. I'm gonna go. I gotta go tell Aaron about the Hippocratic thing. That I gotta go tell her about the thing.
The triangle?
I don't even know anymore, man.
Okay.
I don't fucking. I'm just trying. That's all I'm doing. Sure, triangles. I'm gonna go talk to Aaron about triangles real quick.
So obviously, Fidget, I know you're feeling a little under the weather, but if you can tell me where Aaron is right now.
Probably below deck, either keeping an eye on Alyssa or cleaning, doing whatever I can to keep the ship going.
Perfect. You got it. Did we do a mechanics check for you? I'm so sorry. Did we miss
Yeah,
that
I
for you?
rolled a 14.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think you're with Alyssa. Tishan, you enter the room, you see Alyssa is kind of propped up as you've left her on the bed. You notice that there is a blanket that was kind of around her and now is kind of closer to her feet. I would say about a minute has passed since Ianthe has been in this room. Tishan, as you walk in, you notice Alyssa starts shivering. Aaron, you notice this too. It's kind of at the same time. It just happens as soon as you walk in.
Okay. Oh, she's. Hold on. Do you mind if she looks a little cold here. I'm just gonna.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Tishan's just gonna like take the blanket and like just put it on her body, like over. Just drape it over.
Okay, just draping it. Cool.
Just draping it. I don't think he's gonna like try to tuck her in. I think that's a little too much.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, she just seems a little. What we don't want is our little we don't want her to catch cold, get sick or anything like that.
Definitely.
No.
Aaron, you've been in here for a second. I'm gonna say, can you give me a perception check?
That's a 4. No, I'm sorry, perception, not insight. Oh, so that's a 9.
Okay, cool. Just under. You notice that Alyssa seems to be restless in the time that you've been there.
Is everything okay?
Oh, are you? Well, are you talking to me? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything's fine. Yeah, I'm just just doing the rounds. Deem and Ianthe went out. I think they went to like a family reunion or something like that. So we're just like, um, we're just like holding down the fort until they get back. So I'm just saying, hey, um, you know, apparently my mane does weird stuff now. I got this mark right here on my face,
Oh.
and
Um.
it either makes you like really good at drawing or it makes you deal with like horrible memories and like lash out. Um I don't know really what to think about it just now.
Would you
Is
like
there
me
a
to take a
moment that?
look at it?
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
I'm sorry. What
What?
was that? What was that? What?
Would you like me to take a look at it?
Oh, yeah. As long as you're not going to like draw my picture, because I've already done that today. But yeah, you can look at it if you like.
I'm not much of an artist, and I'll reach up and
Can I be honest with you? Don't tell them, but neither is Bixeldan. It's very derivative. You know what I'm saying?
uh I won't tell him. And I will touch the scar to see what's to see if it is a scar and to see the colors and stuff.
Yeah. So as you touch this area that you feel this like this, noticing the sort of white tuft, and I think for Aaron, Aaron, you've seen a little bit more. You've seen bloodshed in slightly different ways than maybe the rest of the crew. But I do think there's a part of you that does seem to just get that this seems to kind of go in a direction that at first seems like a scar. Um, as you feel, where do you start from? Do you start from the face?
I think so.
Okay. As you start from the face, you start to kind of feel it. Starting from like right about, I think, as we said, it kind of comes up here. I think specifically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tishan, you said it doesn't cross your eyes. Yeah. Okay.
No, it just sort of like it's just sort of like that. It kind of goes diagonal from cheek down to like a little bit across the mane.
All right.
What?
Not here so much. Just right in here. Thank you for someone laughing at that. Not here. Not here. Just right in here.
But right here.
Sorry. All right. Let's get serious, gang. Aaron, you're kind of like running your hands along. You're sort of kind of feeling it. You do notice that there's no scar here, even though the tufts of fur seem to kind of react to that. Please give me a wisdom saving throw.
$22.
Please roll me an insight check.
$15.
Okay. And then lastly, give me an Arcana check with advantage.
A dirty 20.
Okay. The senses you have, Aaron, seem to amplify. You feel your understanding of the things in this room, both seen and unseen, seem to gradually push to a new level, as if like if we were to imagine like a power meter of your abilities, just seem to like kind of like climb up about 10% higher, we'll say, on that. In this moment, you notice that the reactions and presence of this small little 5-year-old girl right next to you is at this moment impossible to ignore. You feel a piece of something that is both clearly a part of Alyssa and clearly not, trying to mentally reach out. With your Arcana check, you get the feeling that this is this thing that is calling out to you. And I think this is a very like. I don't think Aaron gets scared very easily. I think this is something that the realms of something that is beyond understanding in the magical sense, as a cleric, as a paladin. Something moves beyond it, and whatever is reaching out to try to contact with anyone, you don't hear words. You feel an emotion. A deep-seated message of confusion and hope. You have a choice here. You can choose to try to connect, or you can make what I think Aaron feels to be the safer decision and wait so that you may know your surroundings better. I think you know that there's just you and Tishian here. You've seen things that have happened that have been beyond your level of understanding with Alyssa. You've seen Alyssa do what is the equivalent of 20 d10 worth of damage. I truly think there is a part of you, Aaron, that recognizes that because you do not know what you'd be connecting with, there is a part of you that does not know if you would survive the connection. What does Aaron do?
I think for Erin, a part of it is also thinking back to that kid that she couldn't save, and thinking about, or that they couldn't save, and thinking about how sitting aside idly has done nothing but cause people to lose their lives. So even with the fear, taking the advantage to accept that message and reach out to see if maybe there's another life that could be saved.
Okay. I'm going to tell you mechanically speaking, you're going to be making an intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throw.
Okay.
If you fail one or two of them, something interesting will happen. If you fail all three, you will cease to exist on this plane.
Okay.
Is there, besides my auras, which Aaron should be getting no matter what, right? Is there anything Tishian can do to help? Like, is Tishian aware of what she is doing, or what Aaron is doing, or...
I will give you a give me, because you've seen this happen a couple times before. You don't really know what's reacting in this.
Mhm.
There's a certain level here that is equivalent to opening a bag of holding being Tishian's scar and what that's meaning for how it's affecting people around you, and the wild magic child. It's equivalent of opening a bag of holding in a bag of holding. That's what we're kind of dealing with here. So, what I would like from you, Tishian, what is your religion? We'll make this definitely a possible roll.
Religion is +0.
What's your arcana then?
Arcana is +0. I'm very good at athletics.
What type of it can't be athletics, but what type of roll do you think you want to roll here to understand what's going on?
Between Arcana or religion?
No, in general. Convince me.
I think it would be, again, trying to make sense of the situation. I can see where maybe insight could work, just from the sake of, like, insight to me, I've always interpreted as, like, piecing things together. Right? You know, putting together pieces of the situation. Socially, emotionally.
Yeah. Connecting with the reactions to what someone's face is presenting in the idea of what they're doing, tells, things like that. Yeah, absolutely. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. I will say it's a DC 20.
All right. I only have a +4, so... Oh. I rolled a 19 for a 23.
Cool. Aaron, you will have advantage on one of these checks. I will fully allow you to have to choose which one.
Okay, and this is intelligence, wisdom, and
Intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
charisma. Okay. So.
And you're adding 4 to each one.
You're adding 40.
Nice.
Yes.
For intelligence. So 21 for intelligence.
Just saves.
Alright, that die ran away. 1 second. It didn't want to take the pressure. This will be my wisdom. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's 18 plus 11, so 29.
Damn. Yeah, that saves. Great.
All right.
And charisma. That's a 14.
Okay. So that fails. But yeah, 2 out of 3. Very good. So this was to surpass the barrier to be able to connect with what is reaching out here. I did not think we were going to hit her tonight, so this is fun.
I love that we're getting deep and we all look like this. Like, this is the episode.
Yes, I think I
Or
said
me,
at the
I
beginning
look
of this,
like
I
this.
was like, this is going to be like, think about what you guys want to do, because this is going to be probably a pretty chill. I should never ever say that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Aaron. You find yourself being transported deep inside your own mind, your own psyche. You feel yourself as if in the realms of almost similar to kind of like passing out. You feel things kind of go black. You sink into this feeling as you see nothing but black around you. Adim, I'm gonna mute you, sir, just for now. You're interrupted in this by a flash of prismatic light, as if someone's almost running past you. With diving deeper, you see it happen again and again. And I think the fourth time you reach out, you step out in front of this thing and put a hand up. And you see it stop. The outline of this being seems humanoid. But almost in a two-dimensional sense. The head, the area where the face is, where the face would be, there's nothing. It almost looks like you're looking into the I'm trying to think of a way to explain it, the opposite of space that a human would take up. In the idea that looking at me, it's as if you would see black and the background in the shape of my frame. In that two-dimensional sort of almost cutout, you see a path that looks to kind of move out and meander into the horizon. It's a scene that looks familiar, but at the same time, things are mixed up. The sky is a bright purple. The ground beneath a deep red. Trees that seem to pop up along the side have this almost golden sort of hue. The figure stops, stands in front of you, and puts a hand up. Okay, I'll do this one. You see it's the outline of its head kind of cocked to the side.
I'll put the opposite hand up, just kind of mirroring.
You see the hand close. It seems confused. You see it put that same hand out. And it's weird because all you see is that two-dimensional sort of shape. So the hand seems to not really come forward. It just seems to make a movement as if the outline just gets bigger. But you can tell that it's trying to shake your hand. It's offering a handshake.
I'll reach out and try to accept it.
Okay. Roll me a d20, please.
An 8.
Okay. With an 8, you feel energy surging through your body as you make a connection with this figure. You feel yourself being pulled. Once again, you're already inside your mind, but now you're getting pulled somewhere else. The hand itself seems to just pull you into this world. And as you are moving, you find yourself as if you're almost running in this world the same way that this figure was running in yours. You see images sort of pass by you, flipping almost as if like in the world of the idea of like scenes in a storybook as pages are passing by. That's how quick these things are kind of moving past you. I will allow you to give me a perception check to see if you can sit still and remember any particular scene.
Okay, let's see. 13.
13. Yeah, with a 13, it's just too fast. You're just moving. Things that you do notice is that there are people in this. As you see them kind of passing by as if going 60 miles an hour down the highway. You see those images sort of flash. But you do notice that the people themselves seem to change shape. They get bigger. They get smaller. They get more hunched over. You notice that their forms become more and more ape-like. You see them get smaller and smaller and smaller and start to change shape in various ways. You see there's the scenery around seems to maneuver, still kind of in that sort of weird sort of technicolor off kilter thing. You notice that there are mountains that seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger and then smaller and smaller and smaller. It takes you a second, Aaron, but you recognize that you're seeing through time. Eventually, you stop at a place that you do not recognize. You notice that you're seeing this yellow sort of grass kind of flowing in the wind at your feet, but you look ahead of you and you see that there is another landmass that seems to be floating in the air. Actually, high above you, you see a waterfall coming down from that in a very deep, in a very bright green setting. And you see figures that seem to be dancing in a circle, also humanoid, but even in this warped reality of time, They seem very translucent. You've gone this far. And I will tell you as a DM, you can make this connection again. But Aaron, it is your choice if you want to delve deeper now.
I think so.
Okay. You feel like as you're paused in this time, seeing this scene happening, whatever thing has pulled you into this wants you to see it. And you feel yourself being pushed backwards. You're now moving backwards through time, going 60, 80, 100 miles an hour, seeing the change of man as it becomes bigger and changes shape. You see now there is a spear in the hands of these figures. There are shields. There's armor. And you see war. You see a sea of these creatures fighting each other. As you see, there are other sort of larger beings that have this almost same sort of technicolor glow standing on either side. Almost as if they're watching a game. The figure to the right, you see, seems to be glowing with a bright say probably let's say a bright blue. You see a bright blue figure seems to kind of like seems to be giving off an energy that seems to come in and out and in and out. The frame of this creature looks humanoid, but with rather larger shoulders, kind of like closer to where the neck would be. And this figure is standing hundreds of feet taller than the war that is happening at its feet. The other figure looks skinnier, stretched out, a little bit taller than the other one. You see a swirling sort of mass of green in the center of its chest, as it seems to move from having hands down to hands on hips, bending down to look further. And you see, as that movement's taking place, things seem to ripple out from it, like its skin itself seems to be made of some sort of liquid. The last thing you see is a figure on the ground itself, that you see these people just brutally attacking each other on the sea of people. You see the ground itself, the sea itself almost in a way, start to move and pull itself up as if it was a body laying down, and you see parts of the earth seem to crack as it sits up, looking the exact same shade of that yellow grass that you saw. You haven't been with the party long enough to assume what you're seeing. So I'm going to give you a check on this. Give me a history check.
That's 13.
Okay. You have no idea what you're seeing. It looks like a war between gods, but with men doing all the work. Maybe they're just watching. It's hard to tell. As soon as you're trying to kind of make sense of what's happening, you feel your body once again being pulled back as you see now a circle of figures around. These figures looking in various different shapes and sizes, all seemingly in a general humanoid shape. Some of them seem to be glowing in those different colors that were mentioned before. Actually, I will say this: most of them are. A couple of them that you see that are around them look to be so humanoid that you're sure that they're human. And it's a conversation. You're in a meeting. And there are 4 things in a long rectangular shape that are placed in the center. As this figure steps forward, pointing at them and motioning towards a figure that you can see looks human but seems to have horns extending out and moving around. You see the figure laugh and shrug, and then finally nod. You get pulled back again. You are feeling the outline of the negative space you went into as you push yourself back out. And you stand in front of this figure. Is there anything you say to it before you leave?
Why, Alyssa?
You feel 2 strong pangs, of emotion. Confusion and hope. And with that, you are pulled back into the scene, looking at Tishian, who's looking down at you. And with that, we're going to take our 10-minute break. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right. So, as we are coming back, we are going to flip out of this scene and go back to our scene with Adim and Anthony. But before we do, I do have to let Aaron know what happens mechanically, because you did fail one saving throw. For the next 24 hours, your wisdom, the ability score for your wisdom, is go ahead and add +2 to it. And all checks that involve anything that is not based on magic in any way is a disadvantage for the next 24 hours. Crazy scene to come back. We see like Aaron kind of like looking up a Titian for a second, and there's a pause where we know a scene like that scene is going to be explained in a second. Like but we're going to cut right from there as we go deep underwater. About I would say a full minute has passed, Adim and Ianthe, as you guys are traveling deep into the water. Ianthe, you feel a difference in pressure that you weren't ready for. I think there's probably a part of your brain that kind of like goes into like a realm of like, am I supposed to be able to withstand this? Like maybe like how like the pressure of the sea works or whatever, what have you, but it does scare you for a second. I think it's like equivalent to like thin air, thin air at a great height for a second. It's like that sort of that feeling of uncomfortability as you're maybe having a little bit more trouble breathing. You're also flying down there. I think these it doesn't matter. I like it's somewhere around either 60 or 80 feet as normal speed, and it's dashing. So you're flying down in a downward direction that is tapered off a little bit, going. I'll tell you, just going a little bit south, for a full minute. As this is happening, eventually, Ianthe, you are ahead on there, like a perception check.
Just regular.
Yeah, I'll say just regular. Yeah.
Oh, 19.
Nice. With a 19, Adim, you're also kind of feeling this pressure as you're going down. You get the feeling that you're about half a day's journey out of the coast. So with the speed and the velocity, we'll say, that this creature is going, you're going to the bottom of the ocean. It gets deeper the further you get out, you know that. So there's a good chance that that's what's happening. So you are not surprised when you also see the craggy sort of ground underneath. Ianthe, you see things have gotten darker and darker in the blue. Ianthe, do you have dark vision?
Yeah, we do.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, so I think in this realm it does feel like it's like a low light sort of thing mechanically, as you see a craggy rock seem to come into view that is jutting up from the seafloor. With a 19, you see something that has a light doesn't reach down here. So I think there's but you also have dark vision. So we'll say that light doesn't reach down here because of the idea of what our light is, and someone can tell me I'm wrong and I don't care. It's my game. So I think in the equivalency of you having dark vision, you do see that there's something that seems to catch whatever light does reach this object, and you can see it because you have dark vision. Does that make sense?
I think so. Kinda.
Okay. So you see something that seems to like just seem to catch the right space in the light, and you see something kind of gleaming in the rock as you guys are jettisoning towards it. The rock structure itself looks to be about maybe 25 feet tall, jutting out from the ocean floor. As you get closer to it, you'll see more of it. But is there anything you guys would like to do as you approach?
Does Adim see it? I would point it out to him. And
Yeah, I think so. If you point it out, Adim, you do see it. Yeah, no.
like, do you know what that is?
Upon closer, like as you guys get closer, you'll have no problem getting what that is. But I think Adim, if you want to make an investigation check with advantage, actually. Adim, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Is it because you muted him earlier? So it was just like...
Oh, jeez. Yep. Could have been that. My bad, man. My bad. Oh, no, until he comes back. Adim, it might have been me because I did turn your volume down at one point. So let me make sure there we go. Yeah. Either way, you're back now. I think it was me that did that. Okay. I apologize.
With advantage, I rolled a nat 20.
Cool.
And that's why when I said it and no one reacted, I was like, I must not be being heard.
With a nat 20 from your distance, I'll say you're probably about maybe 40 feet away. You recognize what is before you as you see what looks to be a jewel and shell encrusted chest. It's about this big. And it seems to be kind of like sitting, kind of like lodged between two areas, two rocks that are actually just the pieces of the rocks that you originally see there. I'll say also with a nat 20, you see there is what looks to be a body that is floating nearby. And you see that there is something else that is resting up against the rock that seems to be weighted down to the ocean floor. It looks. You rolled a nat 20. It looks like a trident.
Okay. When she asked, "Do I recognize what this is?" was she referring to a larger structure, or just the rock in general?
I think she's referring to the thing that was that kind of caught the light, which was this emerald and sapphire sort of encrusted chest. I will say with a nat 20, I don't think there's a reason that you would know this, but I will give you a little bit of a sense of the idea that it looks like that chest is for someone clearly of a higher station than you. But seems to have been constructed down here.
With my nat 20, can I recognize? So, we're getting closer, and I'm guessing the hippocampus is stopping at it. That's what it wants us to see. It seems a very shiny thing. So, can I recognize the culture from which the chest is made?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with a nat 20, you see the markings as you guys kind of get closer to it, looking at it from your vantage point. You see there's nothing like this chest belongs to or anything like that. But you do get the feeling. I'm trying to think of how to be able to kind of relate this to you. There are other colonies underwater. Honoria is not the only one. Honoria is maybe an area that like people often kind of pay homage to, but Honoria kind of has this realm of like, this is for Tritons. You can be here and not be a Triton, but you know this is for Tritons. Like, so the chest itself does not seem to be Honorian.
Okay.
So that's I can tell you.
Interesting. So I assume the hippocampus stops when it gets there.
Yes. Pulls up right next to it, and actually pulls you up a little lower at first, closer to the body.
I was going to check the body out first. Can I tell what race the body is?
Absolutely, you can. The body looks to be it's a low DC, but give me a medicine check, because I imagine that's what we're going to be doing too. And Anthony, you can do this as well.
I got a 12.
Okay, good. Yeah, low DC. This figure is not a Triton, but looks very close to it. You get the idea that this is most likely a sea elf. Very similar in nature. Also is found underwater.
My mother was a sea elf.
Right.
So,
correct. Yes.
Okay.
So there's certain levels of like that sort of like it's hard to, it would be hard for anyone to recognize, even in Honoria sometimes, unless you were a Triton and said, well, that's not a Triton because of A, B, and C. There's a this was like kind of for, this looks like to be some sort of sea elf. Anthony, what did you get? Just
9.
9. Cool. So from both of you, you see there is it's a pretty low DC, because you see exactly what most likely has killed this thing, or killed this sea elf. Excuse me. As you see that it's at first looking at the body, you can see that it has been caught from the waist up between these two rocks. As you see, there is a like looking kind of behind it, you can see that there's a hole sort of from the other side. So I think at first the assumption is that this creature got stuck here and just died of starvation, except that you see that there's a very large no need to get too gross here. There's a very large piece of this sea elf missing on its left side from the neck down. It looks like something took a bite out of this sea elf, excuse me.
Does it look fish-like, or does it look humanoid-like? Can I tell?
Yeah, with a 12, it definitely looks fish-like.
Okay. Is this a known hunting ground for any sort of shark taming humanoid?
It's somewhat close to the coast, so there's things where you do know like larger creatures seem to try to avoid the coast as much as possible. But also there's a realm of like things. There's so many things that are kind of out of place here as well. And this is based on the like 12 medicine check, kind of building on that. Because also hippocampus don't usually just hang out this high above, like this, honestly, this far away.
Do I know? Are there specific? Do I know anything about like I shouldn't say do I know? What do I know about undersea death rites? Having grown up underwater, I know something. What would be the appropriate rite for an average underwater creature? I don't really know specifically, but do we usually let them out to sea? Are they buried? Like, what would be the respectful thing to do for this dead creature?
I think because in no form of any thing have I had to worry about this in IMEA yet. You tell me.
Wow. Oh,
you do know.
Thanks. I do know. I just need to figure it out.
Whatever, dude. You're a DM. You
can. A DM knows. Does Jack know?
I know. I am a DM. Oh, let me see. I would say the respectful thing to do would be to take it to the in Rifu Memoriam, if they were, because it would then feed the knowledge for future generations. That's what I'm going to tell you.
That's definitely true. you do know you're very far from the Reef Memorial.
True. But that doesn't mean we can't take it. I mean, it's already dead. It's not like we're kidnapping a child or anything.
Yes.
So, can I rest? Okay, two things. First of all, what does the hippocampus seem most concerned about? It's an animal, so it's touching the chest, the trident, or the person.
The person.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Ianthe, I need your help.
Okay.
Could you check to see how heavy the chest is, and if you can get the trident while I start seeing if I can work the person out of its locked place?
Okay.
My goal is to get all three things out. Just so you know, Joe, my fear is if we do remove the person from there and put on the back of the hippocampus, it's going to scuttle away. I'm trying to get all three at once to the point of being near it or on the hippocampus. So if it does go somewhere, we have all of it.
Yeah, and I'll give you this. If you rolled like well, but not really well on the animal handling check, yeah, very likely that's what would happen. But you rolled pretty well.
I did.
You get the idea that, and like you said, I think for the hippocampi, they're pretty intelligent, and in this realm, you get the idea that most likely this hippocampus brought you here for asking for help. You do not feel that this sea creature will not reciprocate in kind.
Cool. So then while we're doing this, I'm trying to work it out. The other thing I'd like to do, and of course I am, interrupt me at any point if you're like, hey, no, do this. I would like to...
You know more about this world than I do.
Yeah, but also Chelsea might have ideas. I would also like to look up on the seabed, the floor. Is there any other markings that would indicate anything that would happen or anything else that was dropped?
Great question. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a survival check to kind of survey the scene and see what you could possibly determine has taken place here.
Also, while he's doing that, and I apologize if you have said this already and I missed it.
Oh, go for it.
Are we able to tell how long this person has been dead? Like, are they covered in barnacles?
Or 9 medicine check.
No, the 9 didn't do it.
9 did not do it.
I mean, can 9 tell me like long time or not long time?
Is it still bleeding?
It's not still bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it also still, like, again, not trying to be gross for the sake of gross, but like it's still, it's not a skeleton either.
Are there small sea creatures feeding off of it yet?
You do see evidence of that.
Okay. My survival check was a massive 10, so.
Cool. With a 10, there's a little for a deem in the deepest respect of like looking at this creature, and first thought is going, this creature got stuck, and noticing the piece that is missing from it, you get the feeling that most likely it was in the way that the trident is kind of awkwardly sitting. You get the feeling with a 10, what I'll give you is that there was a fight, and this sea elf made a tactical choice, and it was the wrong one. That's all I can tell you.
That's fair. Any other ideas, Andy, before we see if we can get all three things to the back of the hippocampus?
I mean, do we know who or what they would have been fighting? I mean, was he fighting off a creature, or was there a sophisticated battle?
Well, it's a seal.
And who's nearby?
Yeah, it's a seal. It was attacked by some sort of fish creature, but it doesn't mean the fish creature could be humanoid. But they didn't take the chest. which suggests it was an animal attack. I don't know if that's
Okay.
true. But if I were attacking you and you had a chest, I'd take the chest.
That makes sense.
So,
I just
Or-
acted for the chest. So
or it was scared away by something else. Maybe the hippocampus scared away. I mean, there's other explanations, but
Yeah, I would say that the bite mark too, like the and honestly, there's no bite mark. There's the effects of the bite.
there's the missing piece.
There's the missing piece,
Yeah.
and it's about I'd say it's about say it's about 2.5 feet wide.
That's significant. Okay, so are we able to dislodge the seal from the rocky embrace?
No problem. It seems like this figure was not really stuck at all. Just happened to end here.
Oh, okay. So it was stuck after it died. It was moving,
Correct.
did a bad thing. It was attacked, got killed, and the rock was holding it in place.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Well, then I'm going to make an educated guess as to what the hippocampus wants. I'm going to see if I can get me, Ianthe, and the body all on the hippocampus, with the chest of the trident too. I don't know, or if that's not possible, given that it's going to be a different weight under the water, maybe Ianthe and the body could be on the hippocampus, and I can hold alongside and carry the chest, or something, some way to get the hippocampus to get us where it seems to want to go with the cargo it wants us to have.
Yeah, I think I do think the second one is a little bit more plausible.
That's fine.
I
I'll
would
say
say it would end up being kind of the same thing, as the hippocampus would either be slowing down to make sure that you're not losing ground, or it would be slowing down because of the weight that it is trying to pull.
I have no issue with keeping up with hippocampus as best I can while carrying things.
Yeah, and the hippocampus is being respectful in this movement. So you got it. So to be clear, there's only one small thing I need to know here. So Ianthe, you are on the back of the hippocampus with what?
apparently this body.
Unless you would
So
like
with
me
the
to
body.
switch places with me, but I think I'm more equipped to carry the chest than you
Probably.
are. So,
I mean, if it's not that heavy, I can hang on to it.
I mean, the
but
other option, put the chest with you, and I'll carry the body.
No, we'll let the hippocampus carry it.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, like over maybe in front of you, like a fireman carry for the body up for the hippocampus. You're behind
Sure.
it, thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, keeping it on.
And I will do my best to take the chest and the trident and follow wherever the hippocampus is leading.
Carrying the chest and the trident. Just give me a quick athletics check. Low DC.
16.
Great.
I'm actually fairly good at those.
Yeah. Ianthe, it would have been.
That's why you're doing it.
And it would have been harder. Yeah.
Literally a
This is
lifelong swimmer. So
this chest feels heavy. It's hard to kind of gauge that underwater unless you've lived there, which Adim you have. This chest feels heavy.
I assume it's
you're
locked.
kind of. It does seem to be locked. Yeah, I'd say if you kind of try to open it, in the realm of just making sure it's at least fit to travel.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get
it's
into
definitely
it.
locked.
It's like, is it secure? Yes. Okay, moving. It's not mine. I didn't
Yes.
kill this person. This belongs to somebody. Let's go.
You got it. Yeah.
Hell,
absolutely.
I brought a crate to Hassamal without opening it, so I can bring a chest to where.
That's a good point. You are the carrier of chests.
Yes, I
that's great.
am the carrier of chests.
Carrier of chests. That's great. Cool. It's gonna take longer for you guys to come back. So as you guys are kind of making your way back with this chest at this point, we see maneuvering and switching the scene over to the area that's on deck here. We see the sun just blip out on the horizon. It is now dark. you see Kofi makes his way over to where I imagine probably Grian is on deck, and you see Kofi kind of has a light somewhat shining in your face. Are the others still not back?
Green would probably have been practicing the violin, and it probably just would have been abrupt, like just in his head.
Yeah, he full on walked up to you and interrupted.
Yeah, and just full on stop. What?
Are our crew all back yet?
No, I don't think we've got the other ones back yet. The ones that jumped in the water, but I'm sure they'll catch up.
That's not a concern.
They swim pretty fast.
That's not.
They can both handle themselves too.
Fair enough. Well, we are still due course, but it's going to be a slower movement from here. I would say it's a good time for dinner. Say we'll all go below deck. Will he be joining us? Looks up in the crow's nest at you, Wolf.
I'm not sure. I can go ask him.
Easier for you than me.
Right. And Green will fly up to the crow's nest.
Got it. You see Ewolf. I knew I missed someone as far as making making a picture for them. But you see Ewolf has changed position. He's gone from kind of holding his knees to now kind of standing up and just looking straight up at the stars that we can see clear in the night sky.
Are you doing okay? You looked a little seasick earlier.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just I guess I'm just distracted. What time? It's nighttime. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll meet you down there.
Or do you want to lift?
Is it gonna be hard for you to? Oh. Yeah, of course. You see him kind of get up on your back and kind of holds and kind of squeezes tight in a realm of someone who very much likes being scared by roller coasters. Hold on. Okay. Is there anything else I'm supposed to do?
Just hold on, and Green will probably circle down to the deck.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a D20 and add your charisma modifier.
It's only a 11.
Cool. Yeah, I think the sense of excitement, though brief, kind of pulls Ewolf out of this slump for a second. Oh, well, okay, all right, yeah, okay, right, yeah, okay. And then you finally touch down. Whew. Thanks. That was cool. Thank you.
It's no problem. But what's on your mind that's distracting you?
It's not important. Let's go get Chow.
Thanks.
He slaps you on the back. And
He'll kind of just take a second before he goes downstairs to be in the same room as Tishian again and just think about how uncomfortable it is to be reminded of not only losing your adoptive parents to a slaughter of a village, but also watching an entire village be burned off a map in an
Yeah.
evening.
Give me a religion check.
Oh, that was damn. It's a 10. I literally watched it like roll to the 19 and go no, and roll back to the 9.
Okay.
That was
You stare out the stern of the boat, looking up at the stars. You're not really sure what you're waiting for, but it doesn't come.
yeah. Let's just take a deep breath and let out a sigh, and I'll kind of wait a little bit longer and just see if Ianthe and Nadim come back up.
Okay.
Kind of avoid going down there for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Bixotan, do you go down with the captain?
I think I would kind of do it absentmindedly, where I'm like my face is in my book, but kind of just skittering after him.
Okay, you got it. Sweet. So Kofi and Bixotan go down. Titian and Aaron. You are Aaron. You're kind of startled in your kind of like lost expression by the sound of the captain that you can hear above you, and you realize that you're staring at Titian's face.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is everything okay? I blinked out for a moment.
I mean, it's you've just sort of been touching my face for like 40 seconds straight, just kind of making a weird series of grunt sounds.
I am so sorry.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I knew kind of there's obviously something weird. I'm sorry if my hair took you on a trip.
You could say that.
Mm,
How is Alyssa?
she's just been over there. The blanket's been kept on her. She hasn't really done much of anything. Um, Nothing new at least. Yeah. How are you doing? What happened to you?
I don't know if I can put it into words. It's It was like looking through time.
Hmm. Like um like what do you mean? Like looking at an old photo or
It felt like I saw everything from the beginning through now. But it was so fast, like I didn't get to experience any of it. It was just there. It's. I'm definitely gonna have to think on it.
you are you saying you like you saw the beginning of everything?
I don't even know. It felt like it.
How did everything begin? Like, was there snacks or something? Like, what was it like?
There was dancing.
Dancing's not bad. Dancing's
Yeah,
good, usually.
I think I'll have to sleep on it though.
Okay. Do you want to, do you want to keep this between us for right now, or do you want to share with the others?
For now,
Uh,
we'll just.
At this moment, both Pixel Dan might be fully distracted. It's up to Pixel Dan, but Kofi is behind you all in the doorway. I mean, I heard everything that was said, but
Should we keep this a secret between the three of us now, or
What
I
secret?
mean,
the four of us?
I don't think it'll hurt anyone to know that touching your face can do quite a lot. Um,
You
so I
got that
think
right.
it's okay to tell others and make them aware.
Yeah, Grian showed up at a massacre, and I just was able to draw better.
Oh,
I'm
they
sorry, what?
they saw time.
That certainly
Yeah,
is more overwhelming than me being able to draw better.
yeah. You could just doodle marginally better. They literally saw dancing time.
I think it was better than marginal.
I'm sorry, Grian was massacred?
No, he was at a massacre. He thought it was funny, which made Titian super mad.
Oh,
And I
massacres are
get that.
funny.
Um,
You hold on, Bix. You get that?
No, massacres aren't funny.
No, they're not funny. No.
I don't know what kind of monster you think I am, like the South Imayans, but massacres are not a good thing.
sorry. I just realized. I'm so sorry. I think I might have stepped in on something. We never had a talk about this, so I apologize if it was that. As you,
What are you?
sorry, maybe we should give them some space. Goblin, can you just? We'll figure out the dinner thing and.
Oh, yeah.
No
That's
perception
okay.
or insight check required. Kofi is full on misreading this.
What's wrong with goblins?
What? I'm
Nothing.
just saying that's
Oh, I thought I was offending you somehow.
No.
No, never.
I mean, not never. I mean, he can be offensive. When I first met him, he was a bit of a thorn. But I mean, now he seems great.
He
I
does
mean,
have a way with kids.
yeah.
I take him wherever I can.
That,
That's a joke. That's a joke.
all right. Well,
Bad attempt at humor.
we'll put
Playing
the
into a
disclaimer across.
stereotype, okay? I seriously do not take children.
The representations of Pixel Dan at this moment do not reflect on It's a Long Story or Chris's or even Pixel Dan's view on taking children. Anyways, Kofi's full on confused, so Kofi just kind of backs out and just goes, "All right, well, you were kind of preparing something, but I think I truly don't know what this is. It seems romantic, except that you're talking to us with no regard to. I will find the food that you had prepared." You see him just kind of walk off.
He seems strange.
I think we should help him out.
yeah, I've lost the plot a little bit. What the hell's going on? What's going on?
Okay, we were at seeing time, drawing better, your face, and massacres.
Right, you were a fan of massacres.
No,
which
no,
is
no, no,
not
no. I
true.
am not a
No,
fan of massacres.
that's
You and
not
I were
right.
seeing eye to eye on that one.
You like stealing kids, and you like massacres. These are two
I
things.
do not like stealing children.
You steal them all the time, every single one you can find.
Consent. She wanted to go. She asked me to take her.
We look over to the camera. Just kind of moves over to Alyssa's body that is full on unconscious.
All right. Well, I recommend.
Go ahead.
Does anybody else think it's weird that Grian thought massacres were funny?
Well, he just said he was deflecting. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't think he probably doesn't find them funny. I think he's just trying to cut the tension. He did just punch me in the face right before he did that. So,
This was true.
Who got punched in the face?
Oh, I did, right in the face. Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. Like, it's not a big deal. Like,
Tishian's face is causing issues today.
my
What's
hair
wrong with your face?
causes. Well, it's not so much my face; it's my hair right now, and it usually causes a lot of reactions. But today, it's very reactive.
That like your hair or the hair on your face?
Specifically, this like splatter of hair that's going across my face like this. There's three things right now. I'm sort of taking a mental stock of it. Three things that can happen if you touch it is you can get reminded of massacres, you can see time, or you can draw better. Sorry, that's just such a random thing. You can draw better.
It's like
It's
all of
quite
the effects
amazing.
of shrooms. Like it's just
Just yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you want to try?
You know what? Why are you just offering my face
Actually-
up to everyone? That's just.
Scientific research. Scientific research.
I think I'm done. I think I've met my quota of face touching today. I think
Can
I
it-
don't really want anyone.
If Talora was here, would you let her touch your face?
If
I
Talora,
really I don't understand like magic very much at all. So if you're, can you transport people or have people transported to you by touching your face?
I
We don't
mean,
know that.
Right now, there's no for sure way of doing that. But again, I've met my face touching quota for a little while. Or who are
Are you
you
saying-
wanting to be transported?
Are you saying that it's possible?
Nothing's impossible, I guess, right now.
He full on touches your face.
Except we can't
against
figure
your
out how many
consent. Like, so
stomachs
you
a
could
Cerberus has.
roll
That is
against this or
impossible.
whatever, but he's gonna try to touch your face. Are you gonna keep him from touching your face?
I think I would like to try to keep him from.
I think I'm going to try to keep him because I think we should respect Tishian's
Okay.
personal space.
Absolutely. This is full on. This is what
Agreed.
Evil's character would do.
Okay, what will I be rolling here?
We'll say a contested athletics check.
Can he have advantage? Because I'm going to try to get in the way too. Because I think
Absolutely,
his
you're giving him
personal space
Yeah.
should be respected.
Okay. First one is a 17.
Already beat it.
All right, yeah, 17 it is.
Cool. Yeah, he rolled a 16. It was pretty good. Not bad, but yeah.
Not bad, yeah.
So he like full on kind of like reaches out. Tishan, you can tell me what you do.
I think he reaches out and Tishian just sort of like grabs his hands like this, like, no, we.
Okay. I just one touch,
No,
just a
No.
pinky.
no.
Come
We're
on,
not
man.
gonna. We're
I
not.
do-
What do you want? Hey, hold on. Look at me.
I'm-
Look at me.
Boundaries.
What are you? Who are you wanting to transport? What are you wanting?
You
to
could touch my face all you want. You could do whatever you want
Oh,
to
I
me
know
if you
I can
allow
touch
me
it.
to touch your face.
I don't want to touch your face though. It's oily. You don't wash it very often, and it just has all those. I see.
All right. No, you can
I
let
can
go
see
of me. That's fine.
I can see the pores from over here. What do you? No one. I'm your friend, so I'm saying something about it.
I'm going through a thing right now. I don't need to.
We're all
hear that.
going
It's-
through things. I got this. Hey, I just described what I'm going through, and all these things.
Yeah, and you got like a thing of
Hey, listen,
a magical bleach mark across your face. I just wanted to know that
Hey,
we all got our.
hey,
right.
hey.
I'm sorry. I think I'm just hangry. I don't know.
You're fine. Hey, but but what do you want to like you said, you asked me to transport. What do you want to transport?
What is with this crew and wanting to?
Well, like you gotta let me know. Hey, how am I gonna? If I could transport someone, how could I do it without knowing who I'm transporting?
You met her.
I've met lots of people. Is it who?
Uh,
The Bone
Elian.
Lady.
Who?
No, not the Bone Lady.
No, she threw bones.
What?
Y'all, I hate to say this. I've met more than one bone lady. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm back. Oh my God, that's so
Put that in
funny.
the quotes.
I've met. I hate to say. You gotta start with. I hate to say this. For the record, Anthony did not mention that. Correct? Yeah.
Not out of keeping it a secret. I think it just.
It's been a day.
I don't think she had a chance to, and I think she would kind of respect, like, I'm not trying to tell E-Wolf's business for him.
Yeah, I'd say too. Like, I think like you could have probably had enough insight to recognize like anything resulting in like a hyper violent reaction to something would not be great for the person that is is caring about them. So.
However, I don't read social cues well.
I feel, I feel like for that reason, she also kind of kept it to herself because she doesn't want people to tell him what really happened with Elian.
Right.
Like, she kept it vague on purpose. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, I did not say anything about that.
Aaron, look like you want to say something. Yeah.
Don't think you want to see her. She said so herself. She's a danger to everyone around her. I mean, she almost killed me just by looking at me. Physically.
Remember that, Bone
with
Lady.
Bones.
I hear you. And I know what that means. I can't stop. So, I think we just leave this here and eat.
Of course.
I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, let's go get some food.
Yeah. You see him kind of walk off. You all start to kind of dig into what Aaron has prepared. Aaron, any ideas of like in general what do you have prepared, or you can be as specific as you want?
Just if we had any meat rations, I would have tried to spice those up a little and do some potatoes and maybe a vegetable or something. Just a very simple but Filling meal.
Okay, cool. This you used magic to do this, so please roll a. I'm gonna say please roll an Arcana check with advantage.
I'm so sorry, I missed the last part. You said Arcana check
Arcana check with advantage. Yes.
with advantage. Cool, because that was a 1. 14.
14. Cool. Gang, it's good. Aaron put their whole foot in it. It is sincerely probably the best thing you guys have had. I would say, like, in that realm, it is better than what you had in Grifton, with like the bacon and stuff like that. Well, you guys didn't really have any bacon, but you know what I mean. Some of you did. It's good especially for the idea of like how bare bones it is. The potatoes itself, like kind of a natural sort of thing to kind of to be able to keep, but is probably you notice Kofi is downing this food. Went from like being like calmly eating it to all of a sudden just being like to the point that Aaron, you do recognize like they're probably gonna want, like, people might ask for another bowl, and you might have to be like, well, there's not a lot, like you have to kind of like push this out as far as ration stuff goes.
Remember, we gotta save some for a Deem and Ianthe.
Yes.
Yes.
How long have they
I've got
been gone? This is me asking the DM.
I'd say at this point it's been about 5 minutes.
Okay, not very long.
Yeah.
At that, I'll
But
set
it's
aside
dark
2
out.
plates.
There's that too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Love it. Cool. Grian has not joined you yet. Grian, would you have joined at this point, or do you think you're still waiting for them?
Still waiting for them, but also going to point out: are you guys choosing to use your real names in this moment with Kofi?
I think we have without
I
even
think we
thinking
have
it.
been, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you guys are.
I think once that
So
seal
I would
is
set
broken.
aside 3 plates, seeing Grian is not there.
Okay. You got it. Aaron, you have disadvantage, which makes me want to make you do a roll for this. So there's disadvantage on roll insight check with disadvantage.
Okay. First one was a 2, which would make it a 13. Second one is a natural 20.
Oh,
So 13, because it's disadvantage, right? Man, you're rolling high. Cool. Yeah, 13 is still high enough to know when someone is staring daggers at you. You said the right thing, and Ewolf is finding you as someone to point things at, most likely way past what you deserve.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, I think there's probably a certain part in Aaron where there's a little piece of you inside that goes like, I'm like saved you son of a bitch. Like there's that sort of like factor, like you would have been in prison if not for me. It doesn't seem to cross his mind. Doesn't seem to be something that is there in that. Cool. About another 5 minutes passes in eating this meal. You hear a commotion on deck. You see Kofi immediately stand up, hit his head on the board, but seems to kind of just wave that off, pulls out his scimitar and doesn't say anything, just starts to run up on deck.
Tishian will follow.
Absolutely.
I'm going to look at Ewolf
yeah.
and say, watch the girl, and I'll go with him up on deck.
Okay. And he does that. He'll fully go there. Okay. And you guys all run up on deck. Kofi, at least weapons drawn. As we see Adim and Ianthe. So, to cut just a smidge back from this scene, You guys get to the boat. You can see the work that honestly was probably half done, but I think you can do it the next day and not have to roll for it. As far as the barnacle stuff goes, that really went in a different direction. Yeah.
No one will know.
No. It's fine. Yeah, you guys get to the bottom of the ship, and tell me what you guys do here. Obviously, the hippocampus is not going to go up on the ship.
No.
I will, once we break surface, I'll yell ahoy and see if anyone comes out.
Oh, so you're just like kind of like breaking out like above the water and yelling?
Yeah.
Cool. Grian, you're there. You're the only one there.
Yeah. In my head, I imagine this is the portion of the deck where like the railing's been like blown away. And
Yeah. I love it, yeah.
so, hey, you guys are back.
You got a hook or something?
Am I a hooker? No.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look,
Do I have a hook? Like, what kind of hook?
get Kofi. I'm just frustrated.
Grian's going
I love
to turn his packed weapon into like a giant hook.
Yeah, I love
Grappling
it. Yeah, like a
hook.
sea hook. Yeah.
Okay. I'll bring the chest up and try and see if I can hook it from the side so he can get up on board.
Oh,
Yeah,
and then
you
I'll
can
just
still open
Yeah.
sprout wings, pick it up, and like.
Is it?
Bring it
But
to the-
it seems heavy to me underwater. Is he going to be able to lift
It's
it?
heavy.
I can make a strength check to see if it works.
Yeah, go for it. Give me an athletics check.
I'm trying to
If
be
you
nice.
drop this thing and we have to go back and get it, I'm gonna be mad.
Just sinks immediately straight down.
It's a 15.
15 was a DC. Yeah, absolutely. Adeem, you make a note of being like impressive as you see Grian flies down, grabs it, and 15 is just a DC. So Grian, you are like you're giving the grunts.
And you were very helpful with that. We have more. And I call him back.
Great.
This one's less pleasant. And I hand him the seal body.
Before you do that, Ianthe, I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh gosh. What is my dexterity saving throw? Ooh, it's not great. Oh, it was almost really bad. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The dirty 20, you feel as soon as Adeem is... And Adeem is broken water. You're still, I imagine, underneath. You can tell me if you're not. Yeah. So
No, I
Adeem's
am.
kind of broken water here, kind of coming up above surface, seeming to talk to Grian. You're underwater. As soon as you see Grian's like wings above the surface, like kind of go and grab this chest, you feel this hippocampus trying its hardest to buck you off. But you're able to hold on. It's up to you if you oblige.
I'll get off.
Okay, cool. You're like, all right, fuck, like shit, like, and you just you get up, and you see.
You just have to ask. It's fine.
Adeem, I think your hand kind of comes down in the water as you like are like ready to be able to kind of like have the body, and you see the hippocampus looks at you, makes eye contact with you, Ianthe, and just gives that same sort of bow, and then zooms around in a quick circle so that the body is now connected to the front of it as it's using that movement to zoom out.
Okay, so it's taking the body.
It's taking the body. And Adeem, like if you like, obviously this is D&D. You can roll whatever checks you wanted to, but it seems like that's what it wanted to do.
Yeah,
I figured.
well,
Yeah.
all I would like to do is go back under the surface for a moment.
Mhm.
And I want to, because it seems like it came to us for a purpose. Great. It
Right.
wants the body. Fine. It's leaving with purpose. Great. I want to clock the direction it's going in relation to everything I know. So, like, going back to Noria, is it going to a different... Basically, I want to see if I can estimate about at least a line of where it's going.
Absolutely, yeah. Give me a This is tracking, so I would say give me a survival check.
Just did I miss the idea that like this body was like its rider and it's just like
It was never.
Oh, I don't know.
confirmed, but
I picked up on
that's
it.
a good guess.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever said it outright.
Oh, and yeah, I rolled an 8, so it's going that way.
Oop. It's going down
I'll
and
say
it's
with it-
dark.
It's going underwater.
With an 8, you see it. Yeah, it's going in the direction that I would say from its current position right now. It's heading out further west.
Can I ask one more question? It might be retcon,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize it was going to happen quite so fast. I got caught up. Was there anything on the sea elf that was an indicator of rank, position, city, connection? Was there anything on them, or its trident, which I still have?
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's play that out. Roll me an investigation check on the trident that's in your hands.
Okay. A 19.
Nice. Okay, cool. With a 19, you are not familiar 100% with the like sea elf culture in forms of like military sort of like realms, as anything like that. But what you get from looking at this trident is that it looks like it is very well made, to a level that is equal to someone that would be. To put a real like sort of surface realm to it, like probably like a sergeant,
Okay.
someone that commanded something,
Okay.
but not like it does not look like it's royalty.
Okay. Is it? Does it remind me of anything that would be, like, for example, I assume, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, that if I saw an Enorian trident, I would recognize that's one of the Enorian military tridents. Does it have
Yeah,
a
I think so.
look like this belongs to a community? I don't know what the community is, but it belongs to a community.
Yes, and it's definitely not an Orient.
Great. So, just I'm saying this now on camera before I forget. That once I'm on the ship, I am wrapping this sucker up so it's unseen. I do
Okay.
not. I want as few people to know that we have this trident as possible. I don't want to be surprised by somebody like you killed. It's blah 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 blah. You stole the chest.
Cool. Yeah.
So I
That
am.
makes sense.
As soon as we get up there, I want some rags or some kind of tarp or something I can just roll it up in. Although the trident is mine until further notice.
So yeah, so the party sees it. You're saying like as soon as they see it, like we're wrapping this thing up. I don't want to.
Grian has seen it.
Grian has seen it. Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I will tell everybody that we have found a trident, and here it is. Like I'm not, but also it's better that we don't know too much about it yet.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
I
that
like
makes
to
sense.
explain between scenes, and here's why I think so, and explain what I just
Yeah.
said. Like it's
Yeah,
not like
I think that makes sense.
from
I'm with you on
them. I just don't want, I don't know, Bixeldan to be like, oh yeah, I seen that trident. Oh damn it. You know?
Right.
As he is prone to doing.
Yes. So
Yeah.
fewer people who've seen this that don't have to play dumb. They just don't know.
Cool. Got it. So Grian, you place the very heavy chest down onto the deck. Everyone hears that and is starting to kind of make their way up. I'm going to say Adim on this because we have to make everything a check because this is just funny. The sleight of hand because this is a little harder. So I think we'll say I'll say athletics check. The goal is not necessarily like how fast you can keep this from sight. The reality is how fast can you get up on deck after hearing that and knowing what would most likely happen that the rest of the party were going to get up.
A 10. So if they see it, they see it.
All right. Kofi is the first one up. Kofi sees it, but I would say no one else.
And I'm not like as Kofi sees, I'm like, I notice I'm like, hey Kofi, and I'm like covering it up just because I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to hide it from them.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it doesn't cause us problems.
Par for the course. There's so much that Kofi has just been like, all right. So like he's just kind of like, okay, like he's just happy that it's not Sahugans.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, so Ianthe, you're climbing up. So now at this point, you have wrapped up this this trident in some sort of tarp. We see that there's a chest in the middle of the deck. You all are kind of around it, besides Ewolf, who is downstairs with Alyssa.
I'm covering the tarp. I as we were coming, once I see the entire party, I will then say, hey, we're under cleaning the barnacles to the bottom of the ship. We got about halfway done to Kofi directly. A hippocampus came up. It had been trained by somebody, took us well below sea level, well under, where there isn't light. We found this chest and this trident and the body of the person who I think was carrying it. We don't know where. It seemed to want us to take it. Once we got the trident and the chest on board, the hippocampus took the body somewhere. It was a sea elf, sea military in rank, but we couldn't be for sure. That's where we were.
It was really cool.
I mean, you brought this chest back with you. Have you opened the thing yet? Do you know what's in it?
I walk over, well, actually, and I sit on top of it. And I say, no, I've had really bad luck opening chests I'm not supposed to. So I found it. I say for now, Anthony and I are going to decide what to do with it. But I look at Anthony and say, for now, I suggest we just leave it locked until we find out why someone might have been killed for it.
I mean, you could open it and find out. Maybe the answer's inside.
Fix.
I mean, we've commandeered a ship, kidnapped a child.
Bix.
What more is a chest of shit? We don't know what it is.
I am completely ignoring Green. Bix. Could you, first of all, see if there's anything? If you're going to open this chest, I think you might be the best person to do it. Do you have a way to do it without harming the chest?
Of course.
Okay.
First of all,
that method.
First of all, give me a few minutes, and I want to start ritually casting Detect Magic.
Okay. Before we do this, I want to lay claim to what's in the chest, not because I'm keeping it from you guys, but if it's something that belongs to undersea culture, I want to take it back.
Hey man, that's totally cool. Hey, by the way, do you think there's any chance that hoopla camper might come back up? I'd love to take a look at it.
The hippocampus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It took me a second. That took me a minute to figure out what you meant.
It seemed to be looking for someone to take it to get the body and the chest and the trident. Maybe it will come back when it's dropped the body off to wherever the body belongs with other people, which is why I don't want to do too much damage to the chest or what's in it.
I just want to get a side of it. It seemed like something that was really cool, definitely once in a lifetime sort of thing to see. That's all.
They're definitely very pretty, and I do my best to describe it in as great of a detail as I can, so that way he at least has an idea of what it looks like.
Oh, that's awesome. That seems really. That seems really cool. Kind of like Kata, but in water. By the sound of it, that's.
Ianthe. Roll me an insight check, please. As I imagine this group is probably kind of facing you two.
Yeah. Man, I have garbage wisdom. 19.
Nice. During this time, you've been you've been doing things to probably kind of dry yourself off, clean your hair, whatever, trying to kind of get back into the land sort of mode. But all the while, clearly seeing your friends in front of you who seem to be concerned about at least what you guys are doing, but probably you guys as well. Kofi has sheathed his weapon once he saw that this was not a Sahuagin that had jumped on board. But as soon as Adim sits on the chest, you see he is so he is right-handed, right? So you see his left hand has not left his sword. There has not been. He looks to be calculating in the realms of the idea that because that's really good. I think you get a concept of like Kofi is a smart man, but he has not been happy about this deal. He is calculating the possibilities of if you guys choose to not because I'll say like he's also I'm not gonna say he's a good man. That'll be the worst thing I say on here. He like that'll be something that was never said in It's a Long Story. Hopefully I probably said it before, but because what is good, he seems like someone that is concerned with the idea of what's fair.
He's
you guys
decent.
are on his ship. He's decent. You guys are on his ship. He is repaying a favor that clearly has been given. He did not know the terms of this favor and what it entailed. That's knowledge that you guys know. He is also someone that just recently had to leave everything. Had to kind of like get up and leave everything to kind of follow along with this favor. He's starting to wonder if you're not wondering if he's a good person. He's wondering if you guys are good. And knowing that in this conversation that has not been taken into account, he's calculating.
I think I'm going to telepathically tell Adim.
Okay.
Whatever we do with whatever's in that trunk, I think we need to keep in mind that we have not given Kofi the fair end of this deal. And he seems to be very aware of that.
I don't say anything or respond with anything more. You just get a feeling of exasperation. Just an overwhelming.
And I'll telepathically again. Right. To be fair, though, we did dick him over big time by jumping on this boat.
Well, then I will say something. I said if I had known there was a child involved, I might have taken the boat without you. So I'm on his side with that one, quite frankly.
I think that conversation takes place during Bixel Dan's detect magic. Bixel, I'll ask you kind of straight up: are you doing this to try to figure out if this thing is trapped?
It's two things. One, he mentioned the trident, so I want to see if that thing glows, and also I want to know if there's what could be inside of this chest. And if there's any kind of abjuration magic involved, that could be protecting it.
Great. I'll say, yeah. I mean, using detect magic, that's a level spell, so we just give you straight. The trident does glow. The chest glows inside.
Okay.
You sense no abjuration magic.
Okay.
Actually, that's not technically true. I'm just going to tell you straight up, from your detect magic, you do not feel that this thing is magically trapped.
And once I do that, I want to see if it's physically trapped.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check. I think this is straight. As far as like detecting trap stuff, I think it's just straight.
Yeah, 27.
Jesus. Okay. This is not physically trapped.
Is it locked?
It is.
So that's number 3, is to try to pick this sucker.
You got it. So you're now picking the lock.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Kofi offers you his thieves' tools.
Thanks, I got my own.
Of course he does.
Puts him away, but looks right at a demon when he doesn't.
Do I get a sense of the fact that he would like something? Like, am I getting an emotional? Like, can I roll insight?
I don't think you need insight for this. Yeah, you feel that Ianthe is correct.
Okay.
Telepathically. Told
And
you.
I mean, I did say why I'm keeping the chest safe. I'm not claiming it for me. I want to see if it needs to go back to someplace because I don't want to get us in more trouble.
Right. Yeah. 100%. The sailor of Kofi is does not seem to care about that.
Okay. I want him to understand this. I'm like, oh, this is a demon's chest, and I'm keeping it for, understand.
Yeah.
He can have his own opinion. I just don't want him to think like, no, it's mine. It's more like I want to protect this until I figure out what it is.
I don't think he's picking up on that, or he's not caring. It's hard to tell at this point, which is the feeling.
Okay.
But yeah, so Bixton, give me a slide. You have do you have proficiency in thieves' tools?
Of course.
You know what to do.
Okay. Roll it, baby. Plus. Oh my gosh.
Don't say it.
No, I didn't roll a natural 1, so.
No.
Oh, okay.
Give me that. Since I rolled such a super duper investigation roll, would I have any idea of how hard this thing's going to be to pick?
What?
That's the hustle.
Does
What
Tisha
a
Core also give you
crazy
4?
question. Give me a second. I don't. What did you roll in your investigation?
27.
I think with a 27, you know that it's locked. I think like I think maybe a 30 would give you like the idea of like I know this lock, like sort of thing. But that's it.
Well,
like,
here's above board. I'm trying to figure out if even bothering to use my flash of genius to pop it is going to do me any good.
Sure.
That's what I'm getting at.
I will tell you that it's.
Playing poker here, it's great.
Oh,
I can't hear Joe.
your sound cut out, Joe.
Can't hear you.
No,
No,
the music
the
got a
music
little
got
louder,
louder,
and then
too.
yours cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, Joe said it's going to be a DC 15 to open up. That's what I needed to hear him say. I didn't think it would be.
Nope, still can't hear you.
I mean, you could try again, right? It's not like you can only try.
I don't know how that works. I knew I've been rolling great all night, and then I just went. I rolled a 2,
Ooh.
which makes it a 10.
Do you get
Okay.
any points from Tishian's aura?
No, I gets it a 10. I can
I
flash a
think that's
genius it
just
up to
saving throws.
15.
How about
But
now?
I didn't think a 15
Yeah,
was
we
going
can
to
hear
do
you.
the job.
You're good
Yeah.
That
now.
was super
Yeah.
weird.
Yes, now I can hear
That
you.
was one.
Strange.
My basic is, well, I know it's a hard lock. It's an easy lock. That's as much as I'm getting at. If not, that's fine.
Complicated.
It
Can I provide
looks
the help
like an
action?
important chest.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with my flash of genius. It's if I was higher, I would do it. I got without a flash of genius, I got 10.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, you're spending your time with it to no luck.
I wish they had take 10 in this freaking edition of D&D.
Yeah, I think like in this moment, Kofi is just watching this happen and just like taking a big deep breath. Looks at Ianthe, looks at Adim. Seems a little like he's done the calculations in this effect and said like enough to know that it's not like you're fully committed to him in any way, shape, or form. This wouldn't even be considered to be a mutiny if you guys were to turn on him. So he is deciding to kind of bide his time for now. But I will say, Bixeldan, as you were working on that, you hear him just kind of mutter under his breath, I can fucking do it.
I'll point to it for him.
Okay, you got it.
Can I flash enhance ability on you?
On Bixeldan?
No, on Kofi because I forgot. I
On
had
Kofi?
it.
How do you do that?
As he goes down, I just put my hand on his shoulder and I'm like, "You've got this," and I'll cast enhance ability, which will give him Cat's Grace, advantage on dexterity checks.
That would have been nice.
Sorry.
I love that. I need you. Do you just touch him or do you say something first?
I'll start saying, "I know you've got this," before I touch him.
I'm going to roll for something here.
Okay.
Okay, this is a fun place to end this. You see, Aaron, you touch him on the shoulder, and quickly you see him. Go ahead and roll me a acrobatics check.
Oh fuck.
Remember, you have disadvantage.
Yep. Okay, 17 and
Okay.
15 plus 3, so my lowest
Holy
is an
moly.
18.
18? Nice. He rolled a dirty 20. So, quick as a flash, you see him grab you, flip you around, and pull out his scimitar to your throat.
Oh no!
Faces the rest of you.
What is it with these sailors? None of them like
Damn
me.
it!
And with that, we're going to end tonight's session.
Damn it, Kofi!
That's the effect
I'm
you have
trying to
on
help
people.
you guys.
I know, I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, because he was like, okay, I'll join you, Kofi.
I'm sorry. We love you guys very much. We hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Tune in for